To lead the SKOL chant and sound the Gjallarhorn, please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jensen.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. SKOL, 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 baby. Let's go.
Hello, Vikings fans. Welcome to the Let's Go Show. I'm Fish. With me, as always, I have Mr. Positivity, Cody Bowden. He who greets with smoke, Skullful Shack. Our Captain Keith will be joining us shortly. He's doing Keith things. Skol, everybody. Tonight, we've got a recap and review of that awful game against the Falcons. And after marinating on it, what went wrong? Is this going to set some new expectations, or is this just a speed bump? We've got a QB change coming up due to injury, and we've got more injuries to discuss that are causing roster moves. We're going to go over the current state of the Vikings. We're also going to look ahead to our Week 3 match against the Burrowless Bengals. Cody's going to call it. We'll go around the Gjallarhorn, and we're going to give our weekly predictions and hot takes. At the end of it all, we'll give you all a chance to come on the show and speak your thoughts. But before we jump into all that, let's break this ice. Fellas, we finally got to meet each other this past weekend in Minnesota and attend that awful game. Is there anything from the trip to Minneapolis you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway memory that I'm going to have after meeting y'all is watching you guys finally get in that stadium on your first ever game. Like, it was like when I turned over to watch you guys, it was like eyeballs were wide, kids at a candy store. Like, yeah, I could see the goosebumps coming off your arms during the broadcasting and the intros of the players, and the Vikings are coming, and it fake snow and the fireworks. It was just an awesome time watching you guys experience that type of an experience for your first game.
For me, I say, not only did we all link up, we also went to SKOL Fest. Shout out to the host and everybody who was there. It was a great atmosphere. For all Vikings fans, if you haven't been, you should go there, to meet other Vikings fans and network and stuff. I will say that probably was the highlight of the trip. It's unfortunate the Vikings couldn't get the dub for us, but it was definitely a memorable experience. And shout out to Jefferson holding the block down. Keeping us safe.
Yeah, buddy. I tell you what, it was great to meet you guys finally in person. When I've heard the rankings of the fan experience in the stadiums, I heard US Bank Stadium is always at the top of the list, but I never really could grasp why. It's like, really, what could it be? But now having been there, I get it. The stadium is awesome. The way they do stuff is incredible. The atmosphere is phenomenal. And I tell you what, it was great. The game sucked, but especially that intro, that lead up to that intro where the Falcons are here, the Vikings are coming. And it just keeps building up into the player introduction. I ain't never seen some shit like that. It was crazy. Now, as for a low point, I'm going to say the food in Minneapolis is ass.
It was rough.
Okay. We had a Juicy Lucy. They don't put no damn seasoning on it. I guess they expect the melted cheese to do all the work. At the Loon Cafe, I had a BLT that was turkey bacon. That's some straight booty cheeks right there. You know, Minneapolis got to work on their food game because, damn.
I think we had an order a menu at one point, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to ask for it a couple times. But yeah, other than that, I mean, you know, the game was horrible. Oh, I see. We actually went to Matt's. We decided to do the touristy thing and go to the original Juicy Lucy. We probably made a mistake there. Everybody says 5/8 is better, but you know.
I think next time we need to hit up Lola's Pizza though. Been begging for that pizza for a while.
Yeah, we only had so much time.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff between getting there on Saturday, getting these guys at the airport, and then going to Skull Fest. Skull Fest was a definite had to do it. And then Sunday afternoon, we wanted to see the Mall of America because a couple of us had never been there before. So yeah, there was a couple of had to do's. Next time we'll be able to do a few more things. I know the next time I don't care what I got to do. I'm doing that stadium tour.
Yeah. Yeah, get to go on the field. That would be nice, you know.
Yeah, so that way if the game is ass again, I'll at least be able to see. Yeah, look, I'm about 6'3". So yeah, Captain will be joining us here in a minute. I'd like to kind of get his points on what he thought about the weekend. So while we're waiting for him to actually join us, the big news of the week is J.J. McCarthy's out 2 to 4 weeks with an ankle sprain. We're going to talk about it shortly, but let's get on to some. Oh, there he is. What up, Keith?
What's going on? Just trying to get all settled in here.
What were your high points and low points from the weekend?
The game was a low point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the high point was just seeing you guys for the first time at the airport, to be honest. Like, oh, damn, there they are. And, you know, I was kind of worried it might be a little bit awkward, but it wasn't. It was just like we were here talking, like, you guys are who you guys are. Like, there was nothing that I was surprised about. Like, it was just like we were doing a podcast the whole time. It's the same conversation, the same kind of talking. That was cool. SKOL Fest was awesome. It was very cool, you know, to be around so many Viking fans. I think the one mistake that I kind of made was like thinking that we had to go to other places and, you know, go out there and party with Viking fans. But what I realized, you know, was we were with the home team, and the home team, they don't go out and party the night before the game. That's what the visitors do. They go out to the bars. So there wasn't like this bunch of Viking fans all out like I'm used to when I go to games that aren't in Minnesota. Because when, you know, you go like to San Francisco to watch a Viking game, all the people are at the bars. All the Viking fans are at the bars because they don't live there. People in Minnesota, they're at their house and they're watching the Gopher game and they're barbecuing.
Yeah.
So, you know, definitely had a good time at SKOL Fest. And what are we talking about? We don't do that crap. Yeah, exactly. Don't do that crap. You can sit at home. Yeah, I get it. I get it now. So there was a lot of Twins fans. I was surprised. A lot of Twins fans out there because there was a Twins game, and that's cool to see that still representing the Twins, even though that season's over.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, instead of going to the bar, we should just find somebody's house and then go there for the whole day.
Go there.
Or maybe after SKOL Fest, go find like a Mexican restaurant where we could get something to eat and have a couple drinks there and then just call it a night.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have different itineraries next time.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be close enough to where we can all just get to where we need to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what 5'8" is, but I remember when I went to Minneapolis in 2017. I think the place was called like 518, and it was right next to the Loon. And that's why I first had my first Juicy Lucy, but they called it a Juicy Louie because they didn't want to have the same name. And that one, I tell you, was a lot better. The burger itself was fatter. It just had more flavor. It was a lot better than Matt's one, but it was cool to go do the tourist thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish we spent more time in Mall of America and catch all the little. It felt like when we were going through the stores at Mall of America, all the good stores were towards the end of our little trip through the mall. So,
6-shooter nation, you assume nobody pulled up on us all.
yeah,
You assume nobody did.
yeah.
I told you Jefferson
All right,
had
well-
the lockdown. He was good.
Like
I was
my
never
thing
in fear
says,
of getting shot down there. That never crossed my mind. Get into a fight, yes. Never was worried that someone was going to pull out a gun and was going to shoot. But a fight, yeah. There was some agitation for sure that could have caused a fight, but we avoided that. And
Like
in
my
this
thing
mix,
says,
there was a football game.
Yes.
And we were there for that game. It was an ugly 22-6 loss on Sunday Night Football. The Vikings weren't able to move the ball. We didn't even pass 100 yards. We didn't even break 100 yards passing until that final drive that didn't even matter. The Vikings only had the ball 10 times, and 7 of those 10 times went for less than 15 yards. It was very boring on offense. We only had 1 red zone trip the whole time. Atlanta had 5. The defense was doing the bend, don't break thing, which in the grand scheme of things, okay, I'll take it. But they did get gashed for over 200 yards rushing. But they didn't allow a touchdown until the Vikings let them score a touchdown in an attempt to get the ball back.
we didn't allow a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't because we were loud. Like there was, I heard talking about they can't believe how loud it was in there, and that was mostly us 4. So
And
yeah,
we did our part to try to win that game, and it's a shame that we just couldn't all come together and get that W.
yeah, we didn't allow a touchdown till KOC rose the white flag and decided to punt it on that 4th and 1. So the defense is like, okay, we quit too.
There go
Yep.
Peterson.
There's Brian Peterson. Embrace the suck. I embrace it, man. I tell you what, actually being at the game made it easier, I guess, to kind of take because, I was enjoying, being there with the guys and just being there and taking it all in. If I was watching that game at home, I might have broke something. Very, very frustrating game. So after, a few days to marinate on this, Cody, what are your takeaways from that game?
KOC needs to adjust. Biggest takeaway of the game, KOC needs to adjust. You're down to your 3rd string left tackle. Your center is the first time ever playing in a professional football game, calling pass protection. A lot of 3rd and 1s where you didn't run the ball, where you had Jordan Mason. You start the game with Aaron Jones for some reason, not Jordan Mason. We've been calling it ever since week 1. Why isn't Jordan Mason starting? You put your quarterback that you invest so much into bad situations, right? He already missed a full year of playing quarterback. Now he's going to miss 4 more games. That's 4 more games of development that he's not going to have. 4 more games of reps that he's not going to have because you couldn't freaking adjust your offensive play style. Hey, JJ McCarthy does not fit. The players that you had, personnel in that game, did not fit the way you wanted the play call. You have to adjust. You have to change something, right? So the biggest takeaway is KOC not adjusting to whatever was going on in the game.
What about you, Shaq? What's your takeaway 4 days after marinating on this?
Piggybacking off of what Cody said, we got to adjust. We did not have all of our starters out there. And you can't do that because I feel like that's what got JJ McCarthy hurt, was you trying to do these long development plays with a backup left tackle, and then our center gets hurt. And then our center doesn't even know the pass protections, which caused the strip sack fumble. So KOC, you got to do a better job of knowing your personnel. And you just disappointed me that game. I feel like the Vikings, we showed up. The fans showed up because you see it early. We got them to get a call timeouts early, delay of games, and all that. The fans was loud. The fans showed up. It's just the Vikings, I guess they still was stuck in preseason mode.
Yeah. For me, it was kind of sad to see the state of JJ McCarthy, to be honest. He didn't look comfortable out there. And I don't know if that just has to do with if he's in his head or if maybe the speed of the game he hasn't caught up with, or if it's just he feels battered because the offensive line is giving him no protection. He knows that every time he takes that snap, he's going to be under duress. So I hope that he, comes back after the 2 to 4 weeks and gets some more work in. And it kind of just made me think, damn, maybe this season's just going to be about developing JJ McCarthy. I mean, and maybe that should be okay. It's just we kind of went out there and we spent all this money on this free agency and kind of went all in, and it kind of put this added pressure on him developing. And you could just really see it. Like, I'm not out on him at all. Like, I have all the faith in the world that JJ McCarthy is going to be a good quarterback for us for a long time. It's just we have to go through the stages of what it takes to have a good quarterback, right, Cody? Everybody wants to develop their own quarterback until it's time to develop their own quarterback, right?
Yep, 100%. And we knew we were going to have good games, bad games, terrible games, great games. It's a rookie quarterback you're sending out there, and to give up on him right away it sucks. But what sucks even more is he's gone for 4 weeks, and now if Carson Wentz starts, gets us to 3-1 through the 4 weeks, McCarthy might not see the field again, which further hinders his development. We're going to be stuck in that cycle of veteran quarterbacks running through the system of our Vikings.
And, part of that development is the coach. And I don't think KOC is doing him any favors. This guy is supposed to be a quarterback whisperer. This is like really his first chance with a rookie quarterback outside of Jaren Hall, which Jaren Hall never developed. Mm-hmm. So it kind of got me questioning, is KOC actually a good coach, or do we just like him? Because he should be doing like quicker passes instead of these long developing routes, knowing the offensive line is not blocking a damn thing, knowing that you just need to get your quarterback going, knowing that you need to get the ball in Justin Jefferson's hands. I think Justin Jefferson's touched the ball 6 or 7 times in 2 games. That's ridiculous. And he should be scheming that and realizing his quarterback, can't be doing these 6-7 step drops. Like, he's got to be quick. Like Penix had plays dialed up to get that ball out quick. And I was like, I'm just sitting there thinking, why aren't we doing that?
3rd and 1, 7-step drop back. What the fuck are we doing? You have Jordan Mason. He falls forward, gains a yard.
Let me answer this question for you, because KOC doesn't have a quick pass game plan. He's been our head coach for what, 3 years now? Is this his 4th year? He hasn't had it. He has not displayed a quick pass game plan in his entire time. It all takes time.
Well, he needs to have one when you're developing a young quarterback, or else he's not a quarterback whisperer. And if he can't do it, then maybe it's time to find out what the hell West does around here.
Yeah.
But I will give you I'd like to give you a takeaway from the game that I came up with, which might surprise you, Captain.
Oh, okay.
Our secondary is not our problem.
I'm gonna agree to disagree on that. I'm not gonna say that they are not. I'm not gonna say they are a problem, but I'm not gonna say they're not a problem either. I feel that this game could have been a lot uglier if Penix was actually accurate in the red zone, and I feel he was not. So, I guess I don't agree, but they weren't really tested. I'll say that.
But I mean, this is 2 games now where they did not get beat up. I mean, secondary is not the problem.
I feel like the pass rush was there, so that's why they really didn't get tested much. Because if Penix had time to really sit back and then pick us apart, I think he would have. But
yeah, I saw open wide receivers, but I saw Penix make a lot of inaccurate throws.
Mm-hmm.
I will give him credit though; they weren't giving up a lot of yards after the catch. Like I will give that. Like the stuff that Penix did complete, it's not like they were, taking in another 10, 15, 20 yards, except I think Drake London had one play where he kind of got some yak. Other than that, they weren't getting yak. So, yeah, they're definitely not one of our biggest worries until they get tested, which I think they might get tested this week, and then we could talk about that. Some other questionable things in the game was the 3rd and 1 call. when there was like 9 minutes left in the game and they throw the ball to Jalen Naylor. I was okay with that because I'm assuming, okay, we didn't get that. All right, 4th and 1, let's go ahead and run this ball and get that first down. No, we punt the ball with 9 minutes and we're down 2 scores. And they've been running on us all game. So you already know that we're giving them the ball back. They're just going to run out more clock. I do not understand that decision for the life of me. That was like the biggest what the F besides not running the ball when we had it at the 2-yard line with Jordan Mason, who we acquired for that situation.
Yes. KOC definitely quit. He quit. That's the white flag. Hey, I quit. I'm done. 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter. You're down by 11. I quit. You still have plenty of game left to go down and try to win this thing. And he just gave up on the team. And then what happened directly after that? The defense said, you know what, let him in the end zone for the touchdown. They ended up quitting on the team too. But it's a direct reflective of KOC quitting on the team. I don't want a coach that's going to quit just because nothing's going his way. His scheme, his ego is blocking everything. It's not going his way because his scheme's not working. I want a coach who's up 45, has 45 points on the board. I want to score a touchdown, give me 52. And we have never seen KOC do that either. He always lets his foot off the gas. All this team here, he comes back. I'm getting really tired of KOC at this point in his career as him as a coach for the Minnesota Vikings.
And then my other takeaway was just seeing that little boy that was sitting in front of us with his optimism and just being so happy to be at the Vikings game and telling all the fans to get up, telling all the older fans to get up, even though there's like 2 minutes left and we're down by 11. And he's just clapping and celebrating. And I wish I could go back to having that kind of joy, I guess. But also I'm like, man, if this kid's going to be a Viking fan for life, he just doesn't not know what he's in for. So I almost wanted to report his dad for child abuse. But all in all, it was a good time, bad game. I know JJ McCarthy's injured and he's going to miss some time, but what did you guys think about JJ? I mean, I kind of said what I thought. What did you guys think about your first time seeing JJ live?
I don't know if anybody could have done any better. Seriously, he was under siege. I don't know what more we could have expected from him. He did have like 2 bad throws, really. Yeah. I'm not out on the kid.
What was your catch in this one, actually, Fish?
Well, for the first time ever, Fish's catch is going to not be a play. If you don't know, my catch is a pivotal point of the game. It's a play up until now where the tide of the game turns. And today's catch is the penalty, the delay of game penalty. Immediately after we threw that ball down to Naylor on the first, and then there was the ump was standing in place as if there were substitutions being made. But I went back and rewatched it as well as I could. I didn't see any subs running in or out. Like, there is. Oh, we got 2 seconds left. Delay game. So instead of being down at the 1 or the 2 yard line where we could have imposed our will, run Mason in, scored a touchdown, changed the complexion of the game, and maybe got our quarterback some confidence to where he could have delivered some more strikes, we got pushed back and ended up settling for a field goal, and away we go to just sucking. But
To be fair, KOC did say something after the game about there was a player that was out on the field that wasn't supposed to be, that was too far out, and I think that's what they were calling the sub.
Mm-hmm. My dad said when he was watching the game on the TV, you can match the words of McCarthy's voice on the ref when he comes to the side of him. He says, "Get the fuck out of the way." Like he was trying to push the ref out of the way.
And this is the next play.
Here's the thing, right? Okay. Call timeout.
That's the big thing to me. That's like he's right there. He's staring at the clock go down. Don't depend on like, oh, they're gonna give it to me because of he was standing there. No, call the timeout.
Call timeout, damn it.
That's my only issue. It's like maybe KOC couldn't confirm what was going on. So he was probably thinking, okay, any second now the ref is gonna move and they can hike the ball because JJ McCarthy got to play. Everybody know the play, but the ref is still standing there. At that point, yeah, they should have called the timeout. JJ McCarthy should have called the timeout because once the ref left, he should have looked up at the clock and seen there was 2 seconds left. There's no way he's going to be able to set hike and get the ball out.
Yeah, just because we're talking about JJ McCarthy right now doesn't mean other people didn't suck. 6-shooter nation. We know Ivan Pace missed six tackles. Like we're well aware.
We've seen a lot.
But we kind of have different expectations and more talking to do about our number 10 overall quarterback of the future than we do Ivan Pace, who might not even be a Viking by the end of the season.
Yeah, KOC.
But yes, we're well aware that Ivan Pace has been sucking.
KOC should have called that timeout too. I mean, even after the game, it felt like KOC didn't take any blame for that game.
So did he come out? Did he come back out and say the refs there was somebody on the field? Because I know he said he didn't see nobody.
No, when we were went back to the room and we were watching, he said something about that the ref told him that the player came out on the field. He stepped out too far, so they considered a sub. And once that happens, the defense has a certain amount of seconds to make their substitution. Even if it doesn't look like they're making a substitution, they get that time.
Mm-hmm. Even if there was a sub running off on the field somewhere, well, what coach out there was out subbing in that late in the game, like in that late in the play? Like, it's a coach problem. There's a huge coach problem.
I have a feeling that's going to be a theme of this show tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. Fuming.
Well, when the Vikings win, we give out game balls. When they lose, we make somebody run laps. Last week, we all gave a game ball to JJ McCarthy. I think it's fair to say that we'd all make him run a couple laps. You know, now the game wasn't all on him, but we definitely have him running laps, and I want to take him out of the equation for this one. So, Fish, who do you got running laps this game?
Well, 6-shooter can finally rest himself. Ivan Pace hitting the wrong hole in the run game, even when he hit the right spot, falling off of Bijan Robinson, making all the criticisms about him being too small look very evident. It was a bad game for him. Not great at all in pass coverage. He looked like a UDFA that didn't belong on the team Sunday night. I said it in our group chat, and I'll say it again. Asamoah would have made those tackles.
It's the same thing with Ivan Pace to me, that it's been kind of since his rookie year, and I was saying it then, and I'm saying it now. Ivan Pace has great football instincts. Like, he can get to the play most of the time, but the guy can't take nobody down. He's just too small. Like, it has to be a gang tackle for him to be able to make the play. He does have good instincts. Like, you know, like I said, like, he can get to where the play needs to be, but I don't know. He can't make plays. What about you, Shaq? Who you got running laps?
For me, I hope this player probably gets cut, but until he gets cut, he's going to be running laps for the rest of the season, even when he gets benched. It's just as cool.
Oof.
I knew from preseason, I was like, I do not like the fact that he's going to be starting for us because it's going to be bad. He had rookie first-round pick Jalen Walker whooping his ass. This one play, Jalen Walker literally just put his hands, and then next thing you know, SKOL wasn't even touching him. And he got to JJ McCarthy, that same play. It happened within 4 seconds, 3 seconds. So it's kind of like we can't expect JJ McCarthy to get through his reads or even throw the ball if you got your left tackle allowing 2 second pass rush. Just SKOL, you got to run them laps.
Cody, who you got running laps?
So, I mean, the biggest one is KOC, and it's for not adjusting his offense. It has blown into a much larger problem. The loss is one thing, but now your quarterback is hurt. It was a 12-6 ball game into the fourth quarter, and you ran the ball 14 times, right? Not running the ball on those 3rd and 1s with Mason, instead choosing the 7-step drop back with the quarterback behind a third-string left tackle and a backup center who has no clue on how to call pass protections, right? It's a failure. It's a failure. It's not like a big failure. It's a monumental failure because now your quarterback's out 2 to 4 weeks. All right, that loss of development right there, loss of reps going on in the season. So now we're going to restart JJ McCarthy 4 weeks from now, and now he's back to square one, right? If you think about it, since this year going from last year, the last 4 games, this stat stands out on how KOC is the lack of adjusting. We've had only 4 touchdowns the past 4 games. 4 touchdowns, right? And 3 of those touchdowns came week 1 of this year. Something is going bad, and it's coming from the coaching. KOC runs my laps.
Good one. So for me, I make the whole damn team run laps just from watching the game live. So to really pinpoint someone, I feel like you kind of had to go back and watch, which I really didn't get a chance to do. But what I did do is I went back and watched all the stacks because I wanted to see like where the pressure was coming from and, you know, why he was under such duress so quick. And like Shaq was saying, a lot of it was coming from Justin School, but there were 2 sacks that really stood out to me. One of them is the one that Leonard's talking about where he's blaming O'Neal, which O'Neal probably does get some blame for that. But the person I'm putting more blame on and the person who's running my laps is actually Aaron Jones. Because on 2 of the sacks that I saw JJ McCarthy take, Aaron Jones ran out and the guy that came in for the sack blew right by him. So a quick little chip on the guy would have taken him off his route, including that fumble to open up the half. Aaron Jones could have prevented those 2 sacks and that fumble. And then Aaron Jones also dropped the screen pass. There was like a 2-yard little pass, which JJ was under pressure, so it wasn't a great pass, but it was definitely a catchable ball, and he had nothing but open field. He was going to take that ball 30, 40 yards, if not for a touchdown. So while he's hurt, it's going to be hard for him to run those laps, but he's got 4 weeks to do it. So I'm putting these laps on Aaron Jones.
Yeah. People asking for game balls. When the game balls only go to your kicker and your punter, it's not a good thing.
I would agree. But yeah, Will Riker can have a game ball. He all the ones that KOC plan to give out, because KOC gives out a shit ton of game balls, just go ahead and take the bag of balls home, Riker. So JJ McCarthy's used to always winning his whole life. He's won at every level. Win, win, win. Do you think maybe kind of getting his butt beat like this and taking losses like this will kind of be a good thing for him in the long run? Do you think that helps develop him at all? Is there anything to take from this?
Yes. Everybody needs to face adversity. You know, winning's easy. Like remember when KOC said it's easy to talk about things that need to be fixed when you're winning? And that was during his first season when we won like 13 games. Facing some adversity will be great for him because we're going to find out a lot faster what we have in a quarterback through this. If we were to win some games and he weren't to really face adversity until the playoffs, it would be harder to make that hard decision on him if it's necessary. But now that he's actually facing some shit that he has to overcome, we can find out how good he really is in the pressure cooker. And if it turns out he's not, then there's a hard decision that has to be made. We can make it, but you know, it's kind of like how do you fire somebody after they win 14 games, right? How do you get rid of somebody? Well, if he can't handle having a newborn baby and getting beat up in a game and rise up and lead his team to victory, then he's not the guy.
So we're being pretty tough on KOC right now, but we'll talk about that in a second. What do you think, Shaq and Cody? Do you think maybe this loss could be a good thing for JJ McCarthy?
Yeah, it can be. I wish we didn't go to the game to go see that loss, but you know, like he could have took this loss any other time of the year. But you know, maybe he did. Like I said in the group chat, we probably needed that punch in the mouth because besides that fourth quarter against the Bears, our offense really hasn't been looking all that well. It's kind of been, dare I say, stagnant, like, you know, an old car that kind of starts and goes and then stops, like buggy. So it's kind of like KOC. He gotta find a way to make this offense gel. We've been complaining about this since we had Kirk Cousins. We start off real hot in the first drive, and then it just be sputter during the middle, second, third, fourth quarter of us just not doing nothing. So KOC gotta find a consistent way to get his offense to go.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good learning thing for McCarthy. It just, when he does come back, I don't think he's going to be any good either. And it's only because of KOC's scheme and how he runs his offense. I think he needs to literally change some things up for JJ McCarthy to be good. But I have a feeling it's going to be the same old plays that we're going to see with McCarthy back there, and nothing's going to be adjusted, and he's going to fall out to be a bust. We always talk about how these organizations fail these quarterbacks. Well, KOC not adjusting his scheme or changing his scheme of how he play calls towards his quarterback, his first-round pick, is a failure to him. We are failing JJ McCarthy.
Tommy, to be fair, I think coming into this season, during all off season, with all the acquisitions we made, with the players we already had, all we expected him was to be a game manager, to be honest. But it's hard to manage a game when, guys are in your face in less than 2 seconds. Now, if he had protection and he was just sailing the ball and making bad decisions, then we could have a different conversation. Like, I honestly don't put a lot of this on JJ McCarthy. Is our offense missing Addison that much? I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, yes, we're missing him, but the fact is, JJ McCarthy's not even able to get the ball out. It's like, yeah, Darrisaw. 100%.
I'm going to say this. I said this during the game. We need to stop doing the shotgun RPO look and go under center and run play action.
No way.
That'll help him out the most.
That takes adjusting, Fish. We don't like doing that with our head coach.
Alex, it wasn't like on his sack that he was like mid windup or release. He was just getting sacked before he even got to even think about throwing the ball
to the top of his drop back. Yeah,
like he was dropping back and getting sacked. So it's really hard to even put any kind of critique or grade on JJ until we get this offensive line working, which it's a damn shame we're still talking about the offensive line. We've been talking about the offensive line for years. We thought we solved this. We went out and signed Fries. We went and got Ryan Kelly. We thought Darrisaw was going to be back week 1. He was always progressing. He's looking good. He's in full practice. He's doing everything. And now we don't have them. Mm-hmm. And, we got a rookie left guard out there who Donovan Jackson, I think, is doing very good. A lot of people will tell you this game he didn't do good. From what I saw, he did well when he was blocking his man. But then, he had School to his left and he had Juergens to his right. And it felt like he was blocking his man and trying to pick up their man. So it was a struggle. So right now our offensive line is in a very bad place, and that's not good for our rookie quarterback.
No.
And you know me, you know how much I hated the draft pick. I'm not waiting for Jackson to fail. I'm not saying anything. I'm giving him a chance to play well. So I'm purposefully holding back on saying anything about Donovan Jackson to give him a fair chance to get a bigger sample size for him to play well.
Mr. Wide Open. Yeah, the Naylor was a bad pass for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he had I think 4.
He overthrew him, but
yeah, I think he had 3 or 4 bad passes, and while he had a clean pocket, the Naylor one was bad. The out route interception was bad in a clean pocket, and then he still completed a pass to Naylor. It was a little high on an out route, which was still completed, but it was still high. Other than that, and then the one that he threw at the toes to the out route on the left side, far side of the field, he threw that ball that he had a dive and catch. No, those are the only bad passes I saw from JJ. I saw an excellent pass to Naylor at the 1-yard line too. Like JJ McCarthy, this is what we're going to see from a rookie quarterback. We're going to see all these things come together. Like bad passes, good passes, excellent passes, terrible passes. It's what goes along with a rookie quarterback, right? If you look at all the rookie quarterbacks that came out this year, last year, they were all garbage the first 4 weeks of their careers. Garbage.
Brian Peterson, you need to stop getting your football information from memes. Okay, Bradbury is not playing lights out. Okay, he is doing good in pass blocking, terrible in run blocking, and he is like the 34th overall ranked center, and there's 32 teams. Okay, so I saw that same image that you saw. You need to do your own digging. And Ingram's only played one game. So out of that game, Vikings had more injuries. I didn't believe that was possible. Ryan Kelly got a concussion. Aaron Jones hamstring ended up on the IR. Apparently, JJ McCarthy has a high ankle sprain, and we will talk about that in depth in a minute. Gabriel Murphy had a knee injury, ended up getting put back to the practice squad after the game. Justin Skule out with a concussion. Grenard had a little bit of a banged-up injury. Luckily, today he was back in the full practice. Donovan Jackson's dealing with a little injury. Theo Jackson, Josh Oliver dealing with minor injuries. Boy, this season just has the making to be a long and rough one. But the way I keep myself going is if the Vikings are ever to win a Super Bowl, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be we didn't expect it. It's going to be, how do we only win 8 games and make the playoffs? So that's how I stay positive as a Viking fan. But, man, these injuries are really getting out of control. And everything that we laid out about that game and how bad it was, there is no doubt about it. The injuries and suspensions played a role in that loss.
I prefer to look at it as this, Keith. Battle tested. We can come out and get to the playoffs after this sort of a start. We're going to be all right. We're going to be scary.
That's true, Lenny. We were very healthy last year. We had a lot of guys that, never played a full season. So, yes, we are very fortunate in that department. And right now we're getting it back, and it's hurting. But, there is some light at the end of the tunnel, I do believe. With these injuries and players going on the IR, the Vikings actually made some roster moves. Guess who's back? Back again. Akers back. Tell some man. Oh, wait, what? Yes, Cam Akers is back with the Vikings, and it feels a little bit dirty because we didn't even trade a 6th rounder to get him. And it's kind of funny. We had a running joke all off season when he first got signed by the Saints. Like, oh, well, I guess the Saints are getting our 6th round pick. It's like we already knew that Cam Akers would end up a Viking again. And it's even funnier because the morning we signed him, that morning, I posted in, Minnesota Viking Fans Uncensored on Facebook. If you're not a member there, go ahead and join. It's the best Viking group on all of Facebook. Nothing bad ever happens in there. I said, I expect Cam Akers to be signed today. And about 7 hours later, the news came out that Cam Akers was signed today. So we all expected it to happen, and it happened. And I think there's a chance that if he comes out and produces a little bit, that we don't see Ty Chandler come back after the IR.
I mean, well, we still need somebody on kick return.
Yeah, fucking Miles Price even sucked that game.
I don't think Miles Price sucked. He just fumbled that last punt when everybody had already given up.
Yeah, but he also took the ball.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
It's not okay, but he's a capable returner. That's all I'm saying. We don't have to keep Ty Chandler around to do that on a play that should be down most of the time. Chandler is on short-term IR landing, so what I'm saying is maybe he just doesn't come back ever.
Someone needs to tell Miles Price that it's okay to down the ball in the end zone. Let's get the ball to the 35 and not the 19.
Well, maybe somebody told him that it's not all right, Cody.
Yeah.
Somebody
Make something happen.
Maybe that coach told him that that's not all right.
Somebody tell Justice SKOL it's okay to hold if you can't block.
Yeah. Our quarterback.
See, this is something you say when it's not going well, but when he was getting us 11 yards per punt return against the Bears, we love the dancing. If you like it, you got to stick with it through the good and the bad. It's not like he was losing yards and running backwards. He's still like every time he returned that punt, we were kind of like because we thought there was a chance that he could break it because he is agile like that and does make moves, and he is going to break one.
Well, punts are fine. Punt returns are fine. It's the kick returns. We never had positive field advantage.
He'll break one of those two. He'll break one of those two.
He's gonna have a punt return to the house and a kick return to the house this year.
Well, I think the Falcons
all in the same game when we're already up 14 points.
What Falcons only punted it twice, right?
feel like it was more than that.
I don't know because I kicked a lot of field goals. I think 6 were kicked.
Yeah, they kicked a lot.
They kicked 5 field goals.
Five field goals were kicked. Yeah, I think
They had the ball like 12 times, something like that. So come on, there's a couple more punts.
But
I get it. And then the Vikings also made another move that I found a little bit surprising, and signing Desmond Ridder, quarterback. And when I first saw the signing, I was like, all right, they signed him to the practice squad, be emergency quarterback on Sundays. No, they signed him to the active 53. And JJ's still on the active 53. JJ didn't go on short-term IR. We are carrying 4 quarterbacks, 4 tight ends on this team, and we still only have 4 cornerbacks. Why do you guys think that we signed Desmond Ridder? I mean,
well, I think
to the active.
Isn't it towards the top 48? Like if it's below the 53, it doesn't really count towards what you have on the active roster.
No, you can only have 53 on the active roster. You can only dress like 51 on game day, though.
Yeah, 40. I thought the number was 48.
No.
I was looking at that.
The article I read said there was concern about putting Max Brosmer into emergency service if something happens to Wentz.
Yeah.
If something happens to Wentz on Sunday, I do not want Desmond Ridder in there who just signed with the team on Monday or Tuesday, whatever. Just go ahead and let's just see what Brosmer has for entertainment value.
Jaron Hall.
Well, why? You're at the back that up. Why would you be chanting for Jaron Hall?
Because if y'all want Max,
what's Jaron Hall doing? Where's he at right now?
If y'all want Max Brosman out there, I get a feeling he's gonna get the same repeat of Jaron Hall going out there last year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fair. But I feel like Brosman showed more in preseason than Jaron Hall ever did. So
yeah, and I feel like if anything would happen to Carson Wentz on Sunday, I think Monday there would be a phone call to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, no.
And I think Carson Wentz fits KOC scheme better than what JJ McCarthy fits. Just because it's not going to change. It's just, all right, throw the ball.
You think Kirk, after the game since he was in Minnesota, went to the Vikings locker room, was like, hey, JJ, how's that ankle?
Probably said, praying for you, sir.
And hey, KFC, I still got my house here.
I'd rather call Favre than Kirk Cousins.
So let's go ahead and talk about
to you, Shaq.
No, you wouldn't. Not right now, not his condition. It's not even the age.
I know he got the shit. I'll take that over Kirk.
Man, I don't think so. And that's why I was saying I would have liked to have signed Kirk in the offseason as the backup. I think we'd be in a better situation right now. I am doubting Wentz a lot. But I doubted Case Keenum a lot when we signed him. So I'm just gonna keep that energy. But yes, JJ McCarthy's out with a high ankle sprain, expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks, which would put him on track to come back right after our bye against the Eagles. I want to know, what was your guys' honest reaction when you heard that JJ McCarthy suddenly has an ankle injury and is going to miss 2 to 4 weeks?
Thanks, KOC.
At this point, probably the best thing for him.
Really?
I don't know.
I mean, he might not even dress for the Europe trip and stay home with his wife and kid.
Yep.
I don't think that's the best thing for him right now. It's football season. Could be a
I
father
hear
later.
you. He just got his ass whooped. I mean,
last thing he wants is to be away from his family, have to get his ass whooped like that. Literally, not even just to score. He was getting his ass.
You realize he's a football player, right? You guys realize this, right? He's a football player.
Yeah.
I think
so. He's got to do football player things.
Like after what we witnessed the first 2 weeks of the season, it was the best for the now for this team. Not the best for the future going forward, but for the now. We built the team for a run. All right, it's stacked, it's loaded, right? It just, if you look at it, Carson Wentz fits KOC's scheme better because the ball gets pushed downfield more, right? It's not going to be a handoff with Carson Wentz. It's going to be the same 14 carries a game, throwing the ball, slinging the rock. And with it for the now, Carson Wentz makes sense, not JJ McCarthy, just because the scheme isn't changed from the past. we're going to still see 14 carries a game, and that is it.
But to like Fish said, he doesn't think any quarterback would have been successful in that game. So it wasn't really a JJ McCarthy problem.
Get his ass whooped too. He ain't gonna be able to hold the ball no longer.
Yeah,
he's about to get his ass whooped too.
I'll be mad if KOC changes the game plan to quick passes to fit Carson Wentz, but he didn't do it for JJ McCarthy. Even though that's what he needs to do, I'm gonna be mad when he does that for Carson Wentz. Didn't do it for JJ McCarthy. I'm gonna enjoy the victory because he did what he needed to do, but I'm gonna be mad he didn't do it for JJ. Now, there's been a lot of talk about, well, how did JJ McCarthy have a high ankle sprain when on that last drive he was running out of the pocket and making throws and there was no Winston or anything? Is there anybody who thinks that this might be a soft benching?
Well, the science of it is he basically still had adrenaline. So, like, you could play when you first get a high ankle sprain, you could technically still play on it because the swelling and all that stuff didn't start yet. But the day after, that's when you start to notice, like, damn, my ankle is not well.
So nobody thinks that this is a front to kind of bench him softly.
No, I think the hip drop tackle that he received during that scramble out is what caused the injury, and the injury was on the plant foot of his throwing motion. And you could kind of see it during the last 3 or 4 throws when he was throwing that ball. He was throwing off his back foot a lot because he favored that plant foot.
I'm going to agree, but I just had to throw it out there because there are people trying to have that narrative that this is a soft benching, and I don't think that at all. And one of the reasons is he got his ankle taped at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And also, being at the game, I know me and Cody noticed it. In that second half, every commercial break, Carson Wentz was going onto the field and doing some long ball tosses, like he was getting ready to go in the game. Yep. We didn't know why he was doing that. I thought he was just, trying to stay engaged and stay warmed up. But nah, I do think he really did get injured, and Carson Wentz was getting ready to go into that game.
Yep.
So I just want to strike down that narrative that it's even happening in the comments that people are saying that.
Yeah.
So Carson Wentz will start most likely against the Bengals, Steelers, and Browns. Are you guys happy now that we ended up picking up Carson Wentz and we're not going to be stuck with Sam Howell? And also, are you maybe a little bit upset that we didn't do more to address the backup quarterback situation except go with Sam Howell? Like, there were a lot of quarterbacks out there at the beginning of free agency, and the Vikings weren't in on any of them. It's like they just went in with this cocky confidence that JJ McCarthy is going to be the guy, and we'll just get somebody to put back there. So first, are you now happy that we ended up signing Carson Wentz? And second, do you wish we would have done a little bit more?
I've always been a Carson Wentz advocate. Like, I thought that who we should have signed as our backup quarterback, just because who he sat behind, right? And what he could have learned from that. Like, he sat behind Mahomes, won a Super Bowl as a backup, sat behind Matthew Stafford, won a Super Bowl, got injured, was behind Nick Foles for his 1-year wonder worth of blunder stuff. And he still got a Super Bowl there. The guy's been in the playoffs. He knows how to throw the ball downfield, right? It's going to be an interception fest, I feel like, but at least the yards and the touchdowns will probably come to with that. So I'm happy that we do have Carson Wentz, a guy that is able to push the ball in the center of the field.
Let me quote my esteemed colleagues here. If anything happens to McCarthy, the season's over.
100%.
It doesn't matter what we do. If anything happens to McCarthy, the season's over. But I actually don't believe that. When I said I was happy we got Wentz instead of Sam Howell, Keith, I think you said something like that was kind of a nostalgia memory that he'd sucked recently. And I was thinking about before that when he was good, which is probably right. But who are our next 3 opponents again?
Bengals, Browns, Steelers.
So Hendrickson, Garrett,
Watt.
And Watt. Yeah, I'm pretty glad that McCarthy's going to not be playing football right now. Actually, I think he would get destroyed. So I'd much rather put our rent-a-cop Carson Wentz in there to get blasted and for these over these 3 games and just let McCarthy come back and start playing some football.
But what's scary, Fish, is what if we get Darisaw back this week and he doesn't get blasted?
True. But there's still that problem at the center.
I mean, we could always just pull Ohio State, move Donovan Jackson to left tackle, and put Blake Brandel in at left guard.
But we won't need to Darisaw back.
I don't like the idea of more moving parts, Shaq, just one. But I mean, I actually think Brandel needs to go out to left tackle at this point.
Well, we could do that too. I'm pretty much anything besides seeing SKOL go back out there.
Well, they in the game they put Rouse out there, so if he starts, we're in trouble too because he didn't look any better.
I mean,
he was kind of pressed in the service.
I want you guys to be honest on. I want you guys to be honest on this one. Is there anyone that feels more confident in this game now that Wentz is a quarterback over JJ McCarthy?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I do. Just because of the scheme that KOC plays with, and he doesn't know how to fucking change it for his top 10 pick quarterback.
I don't.
Until I hear whether or not Darisaw is in. If we're rolling out there with no Kelly and no Darisaw, it don't matter who we put in there. They're about to get murdered.
Like, at least take notes from the Falcons because aren't the Falcons missing like 3 of their starting 5 offensive linemen?
That's what I heard.
So
no, they were missing 2 of their starters, and then they were missing a second stringer, Shaq.
Okay.
So what they did, they just decided to run the ball on us because our defensive tackles aren't known for stopping the run.
Imagine if Carson Wentz does well in this start, right? And he does like what Sam Darnold does. Do we pay the guy at the end of the year?
No, we flip him for at least a 5th-round comp pick, Cody.
That's the only thing we can do.
For the hot take, huh?
Yeah. Right.
But that is a question. What if Carson Wentz does go 3-0 right now? I'm not talking about are we going to sign him because that's not going to happen. But if he goes 3-0, we go into the bye, and JJ McCarthy's ready to rock. Is he, or do you stick with the hot hand of Wentz?
It depends on how Wentz looks. Are we winning because of Wentz, or are we winning because the Vikings as a team just is playing better?
I mean, even if he wins, he's doing the right things in that scheme. That's what he's doing.
Because
I feel like Kwesi and Cam are still tied to McCarthy. I feel like they've got to put him out there. They've got to put him out there and try to win with him. And if Wentz plays well and he wins some games, they've got that in their back pocket. But they've got to put their potential franchise quarterback out there.
It sucks with the 4 weeks off.
I'm going to say that I actually do feel just a little bit more confidence, not because I think Wentz is a better quarterback, but I think because of the situation we're in. I think that Wentz will be able to handle it a little bit better, the pressure a little bit better, because just the experience. I think we might actually look like an NFL offense, but I hope it's not long term. So I'm very conflicted because I want JJ McCarthy to come back when he's ready to come back, but I also want to win these next 3 games. So I guess I kind of hope it's like what Shaq says. I hope we win these 3 games, but it's not because of Carson Wentz. But at the same time, I can't be mad if it is because of him. It's a bad situation as someone who's rooting for JJ McCarthy. The JJ McCarthy haters are loving it. You can see it from Tommy in the chat.
I believe if KOC would treat his offense differently and change something, JJ McCarthy would be fine. I just don't see it. We've been saying run the effing ball for about 4 years now, and it's just not.
That is true. Carson Wentz grew up a Viking fan, so he's getting to live out a dream right now. Hopefully that moment doesn't become too big, but he's also starting for his 6th team in 6 years, which is an NFL record.
Nice.
So it's always nice to make history, I guess.
That's one of those Vikings type of historical facts.
Yeah. So we're now 2 weeks in. We're 1-1. We've seen what we've seen. What are your guys' expectations currently for this Viking team, and how is that different from your expectations 3 weeks ago, Shaq?
So my expectations 3 weeks ago was dream expectation. You know, it's always going to be win the Super Bowl. My reality expectations 3 weeks ago was just get a playoff win, do better than what we did last year, show that we made positive steps to get into the Super Bowl. My expectations right now is just make the playoffs. That's how bad it's gotten. I wouldn't say, you know, 8-9, because that's not real expectations for a team that just went to the playoffs, that spent all this money in all season, that drafted a quarterback top 10, traded up to draft a quarterback top 10 just to miss the playoffs. No, that's not good expectations to have. At minimum, it should be just make the playoffs.
I'm going to agree with you that my expectations at first going to the season was to win a playoff game. And right now, my expectations are just to make the playoffs. And like, that's not my hope. My hope is obviously different than my expectations, but just with everything is what it is, my expectation is that we actually just make the playoffs and then get into that dance, and whatever happens, happens. What about you, Cody?
So at the beginning of the year, my expectations were 11 wins because I heard KOC say he wanted to run the ball more. He wanted to do these things more. It just hasn't happened. He still hasn't changed. So my expectations is this is a 7-win team. We're no longer the 11-win team because what KOC said that he wanted to do, he's not doing it. So I'm at a 7-win team. I'm back to where I was at last year, that 7-win team at the beginning of the year, because he's not doing what he said he was going to do. You bring in 3 tight ends, you draft all these tight ends, you sign UDFAs, you build interior offensive line, you bring in Jordan Mason to be alongside Aaron Jones, and you don't do it. That's my problem. It's still the same 11 to 14 carries a game, and that's all I'm going to freaking do. And I'm going to run for it's crap, dude. It's dog shit coaching. Sorry, cuz. I'm just fuming. It's bull crap. You lied to me. You had my hopes brought up to 11 wins. You lied to me. Now I'm back down to 7 because you don't know how to coach.
I had a feeling that would be a theme. What about you, Michael Fish?
Super Bowl. It hasn't changed. I said 11-6 also, and guess what? You got to lose 6 games. I also said we'd have a sub 500 home record, still win 11 games and win, or maybe even 12, and we would win the division. That hasn't changed. So it's some adversity. It's football. Fuck it. You go through some adversity during a season. We've got our backup quarterback starting for us for a few games. Okay. Our starting quarterback's coming back. He's going to be our franchise. He's coming back. You may think that it's going to be bad for the locker room to bench Wentz if he wins a few games, but they know J.J. McCarthy is the starting quarterback in the future of this franchise. If J.J. McCarthy comes back, they ain't going to riot. If he wins a game, they sure as shit ain't going to riot. They're going to say, we're on. We're whole. It's Super Bowl. And a sub 500 home record.
Damn, I like it. Fish coming out there with some fire. Right, Lenny? I love this version of Fish. Well, we'll see. Hey, we'll see how he's feeling on aftercare if we lose, though. But then again, that is another home loss, right, Fish? Still got to lose 4 more.
That's right.
You found that person, Fish?
Yeah, I met him in Minnesota. I dropped the elbow on him.
That's funny.
He was at the Loon Cafe.
At around 1 a.m.
Mother.
Oh man! So we do have the potential to be at or near full strength after the bye. Can we be 3-2 going into the bye? Can we get there? Can we win 2 out of these next 3 games?
Well, let's see. Aaron Rodgers looked like ass this weekend.
Sure did.
Bengals got their backup quarterback, and from what I understand, other than Hendrickson, they still don't have a defense. The Browns are the Browns still. There's no reason why we can't, even if it's bad teams, there's no reason why we can't go 3-0.
So 4-1 still in sight.
I agree with that.
Possibility. Is it a probability? Still quite the possibility.
It's kind of like my only fear is we don't know what to expect because we seen Aaron Rodgers play like ass and the Browns are still the Browns. But when it comes to how we come out there, the Vikings we compete at the level the opposing team is at. We just need to compete at the level we're always at. We need to stay because we're supposed to be a top 10 team, but we don't always play like a top 10 team. We kind of play like a bottom 20 team if we're playing a bottom 20 team. But I feel like if we play Buffalo next week, we'll make it a good game. Granted, we might lose, but it would be a good game, better than the game we played against the Falcons. So it's just like the Vikings need to find consistency in how they play.
6-shooter, I don't think any of us would actually be that surprised if Wentz ended up doing this because, I mean, we're all familiar. We're familiar with Cunningham. We're familiar with Favre. We're familiar with Keenum. Like, we've seen this stance. So I don't think any of us would really be surprised.
Nope.
Look at here. In the game that's going on right now, Miami is driving down to tie the game in the fourth quarter. Those Dolphins, the team that looked completely inept last week, if they can keep it close against Buffalo, come on now.
Well, Mike McDaniel is sticking to his script. The past 2 weeks, he's gone off his script.
I mean, I feel like
this Thursday night game just did get really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, can we actually have a consistent run game? I don't know. KOC trusts our offensive line in between the tackles, not in between the tackles.
Didn't we have a pretty good run game last week?
Yeah, no, I definitely think we can, but you got to commit to it. You can't just run it once and be like, oh, man, we only got 3 yards. Okay, we got to pass it these next 2 downs. Like, to get a run game going, you got to get a run game going. You got to give it a chance to ramp up. You
got to force it.
But wasn't the score out of reach?
You don't force the pass game. You force the run game.
We was down by more than 3. We had to start passing.
I guess that's a philosophy, but no, 14 carries is ridiculous. And it's kind of crazy that now Jordan Mason's going to be RB1 and he should be getting over those 20 carries, which I feel like I might have jinxed Aaron Jones a little bit because last week I was saying, man, I almost wish we didn't have Aaron Jones because I want Mason to be our bell cow back and get 20-plus carries a game. Whoops. Really hope this isn't a case of you get what you wish for and you were right. That's what I'm hoping for.
I say we go over 20 carries twice this year, and that is it.
Well, we already did once.
Now that
and the Dolphins did the Dolphins thing.
Yep.
Threw a pick.
Yep.
I say that now that we have Jordan Mason and Cam Akers, we now have a hammer and a hammer. We're not going to get cute.
Yeah, I guarantee you. When haven't we not gotten cute? That's the thing.
We don't have an option with the running game, Cody. We don't have an option to get cute. We don't have Aaron Jones coming out of the backfield. We're not going to be running stretch plays. That's not what Jordan Mason and Cam Akers do. We got a hammer and a hammer, and we're going to find nails.
So here's where we're at in the power rankings that Fish loves so much. PFF has us at 13, down 2 spots, which is the most respect we got. Let you know that right now. ESPN's got us at 20, which is down 7 spots from the previous week. Yahoo's got us at 16, down 8 spots. And NFL.com has us at 19, down 8 spots. Can you really argue with any of those, Fish?
No, it was an awful performance. I just think that maybe we should have been starting a little higher, instead of falling 3 spots after a win.
Well, hopefully we can get back to those winning ways. This week we got the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Jaguars 31-27 to go 2-0 on the season. We have met up with the Bengals 15 times, and the Bengals actually have a better record than us at 8-7. The last meeting was 2023, where the Bengals beat us in overtime 27-24, which was the exact same result the time we faced them before that in 2021, when Dalvin Cook did not fumble, but they called it a fumble. Bengals have won 3 of the last 4 meetings. In 2023, both quarterbacks playing were backup quarterbacks. This week, same situation. We got Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning. Browning actually had a pretty good game against us and then had a lot of shit to talk after that. Hopefully, that stays in these players' minds, even though some of them weren't a part of the team. They are Vikings now. So hopefully they take that smack talk to heart. Vikings opened up as a 1.5-point favorite. Last I checked, they're at 3.5. Is that still what it is, Cody?
That's a flip. It's because of the backup quarterback situation, how our offense ran the past 2 weeks versus how the Bengals defenses ran the past few weeks. It kind of evens itself out. If there was an even game, this is the most even game in the NFL this week. Bengals versus Vikings.
Don't start telling me about brutal losses, Tommy.
0-1.
So, what are you guys hoping to see from the Vikings this week, Shaq?
A touchdown.
Just see a touchdown and then you're good? Like, it's a success?
Like Cody said, we got to do baby steps. We got to go back to the basics. You get a touchdown, and hopefully, we might get another touchdown. But right now, I'm keeping it real simple. Touchdown.
Fish, you hope to see a little bit more than a touchdown?
I want to see a lot more play action. That's going to be the key to the game in my mind.
That perked Cody up.
Yes, because I know what comes with play action.
A run game?
Establishing run.
Run the ball more than 11 times or 14 times a game. Get to that 20 mark. Just keep pounding it. It's like what we said. You can't force the pass, right? Forcing passes equals interceptions, equals turnovers. You can force the run game, right? 1 yard, 2 yards. Keep forcing it because eventually the defense is going to break down. You're going to get the 5 yard, the 6 yard carries where you're above the chains, you're ahead of the chains. And then, hey, it's 2nd and 1 because you broke off a 9 yard carry. Now we go play action, throw it over the top. Just get the run game implemented. That would make me more excited about when McCarthy comes back is if we do start running the ball 20 times a game. That means the scheme's changed while Carson Wentz is in the offense. But if I don't see that and we got McCarthy coming back, I don't see anything different with this offense when McCarthy comes back.
I hope to see this team look like an NFL team on both offense and defense. I do hope we get the run going and establish it. I do think Jordan Mason should have, at least 20 carries in this game. But I also want to see Justin Jefferson heavily involved as well. That man should have no less than 12 targets in this game. And, good targets, not just, okay, well, let's throw a deep pass to JJ before the half ends and, we're out of it, and here's another bomb to him at the end of the game. I want to see him heavily involved. And he's going to be out there pumped, man, because he's going up there against Jamar Chase. So, that's going to be a battle back and forth. He's going to want to get his. So they better feed him the ball and feed Mason the ball. Feed both those guys the ball. I really hope Darrisaw's back. Darrisaw is going to be the difference. It's going to suck without Ryan Kelly, but I think we can make do if we have Darrisaw back. I think that just anchors the whole offensive line. And to be honest, I don't even know how good Ryan Kelly's been doing. I haven't focused on him. So give me Darrisaw back, please.
Yeah.
Defense, keep doing what you've been doing. And cornerbacks, make Fish right. Fish says that you guys aren't the problem. Prove him right, because you will be tested. Even when Browning came in for Joe Burrow, they were still slinging that thing. They were throwing the ball. Browning finished the game, and he only played, 3 quarters with 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So the man was throwing the ball. They're going to throw the ball. Yeah, it's loud.
My bad.
I like it, Tommy. That's all I'm saying. Like, show me that. That should be a winning recipe.
Mm-hmm. Show me 20 carries, and I'll be excited when McCarthy comes back. Because if you keep that up, McCarthy is going to be good.
So, what concerns you most about this game, Cody?
Concerns me most about this game, honestly, is going to be the turnover battle. I mean, I think it's going to be a turnover fest. I think it's going to be interception galore on both sides of the ball. If we can just mitigate that by adding the run game into the situation, I think we're going to come out on top. I think it's going to be a field goal game. I think that's how we win. I do also think Justin Jefferson will see those 15 targets this game. The biggest thing is mitigate the turnovers, right? It's going to be a turnover fest. Just mitigate what happens. I would be happy if we saw 4 turnovers for the Bengals and we had 3, because if we had 3, that means we're winning this game.
Yeah, last week we lost turnover battle 4-1, so definitely don't want to see that. Fish, what has you confident about this game?
Our pass rush, our ability to get to Browning. I think that we're going to be just fine there. I think defensively we're going to be okay.
Shaq, are you confident or are you concerned about this game?
I'm confident. The Vikings got a bad taste in their mouth. Hopefully that loss against the Falcons at home woke them up to, get their ass together and show that they're an actual legit NFL team ready to compete in the playoffs. And that starts with when one player goes down, it's the next man up. Carson Wentz, you gotta step in for us, and hopefully Darisaul's in that left tackle. If not Darisaul, then Walter Rouse. Just do what you can. KOC, adjust. Make sure you know your players, and don't let the Bengals get ahead too much. Don't be afraid to run the ball. If we could do all of that, then we should walk out there with the win.
We're some damn homers, because I think we're more confident about this game than we are concerned. I'm definitely concerned with Hendricks. Like that's about it, especially if Darisaul doesn't play. I am concerned because we don't have a good track record against backup quarterbacks.
Oh,
so that kind of worries me a little bit. But overall, I'm confident about this game. I do think that at this point in time that Wentz gives us a better chance to win this game. Am I missing something? Should I run?
I didn't hear any gunshots.
I don't know. Should I go?
I will say this: as confident as I am about our pass rush, Keith, I am concerned about theirs. And I will say that if Joe Burrow was playing in this game, I would think that we wouldn't have a chance.
Oh, no way.
I don't think Joe Burrow has looked great in his 5 quarters of play.
He would look great against us.
We do tend to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it kind of equals itself out. Like, we're bad against backup quarterbacks, but we're also good with a backup quarterback. So I'm like, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Thanks, Cody.
Hey, glass half full, boys.
That makes me feel better. I like positive Cody. Negative Cody's fun, but I like positive Cody.
I really do think we're going to see a really good, competent offense out there without McCarthy, with Wentz in there. It's not a knock on McCarthy. It's just how we play the game of football.
I mean, kind of like when Nick Muse used to come in, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it would look like an NFL offense.
Who's Nick Muse?
Oh, Mullins.
I mean, they both would sling it down the field. They're both gunslingers. Carson Wentz is a gunslinger. You know, like Jaden McCarthy's not a gunslinger. He's just not that guy. And you need a gunslinger in KOC's offense.
You forgot
Thanks,
to say
George.
Super Bowl winner Nick Muse is a former tight end.
Super Bowl winner Carson Wentz. 3-time.
3?
Yeah, right. Chiefs, Rams, Eagles.
I don't think he was with the Rams when they won. Was he?
Yeah, back up to Stafford, right? In 21?
I don't know. He's been on so many teams, but I thought he might have been a Colt quarterback in that one, or Commanders quarterback during that time, or I don't know. Maybe. What do we call the Jags and trade a 6 for Mullins?
No, the season's over right now. You just gotta. We're gonna ride it out.
Lenny, my man.
Are you guys concerned about Chase and T. Higgins in this game?
Of course.
Yeah, you gotta always be concerned about them. I'm more concerned about what Chase Brown is about to do more than anybody, the Bengals running back.
I mean, I'm concerned about Chase and Higgins as much as they should be concerned about JJ and Hawkinson.
I'm concerned about Hawkinson.
Yeah, what is he? What routes is he running the past 2 games? Like, are they deep seam routes, and then that's all he's got? Like, what is going on with that?
I don't know. It looks like it hurts him to run.
Hey, remember what I said? Coming back from that injury, ain't no joke.
Yeah, dude. I've been a big Hawkinson supporter and fan of Hawkinson, a fan of the trade. I still think it was a good trade. Oh man,
That's a big.
I still think it was a good trade, but he kind of looks cooked.
Yeah, it's a big injury. Is he going to come back the same player? And I always said I don't think so. That's a big injury, man.
You gotta respect Brian Peterson. He comes here and spends 2 hours with us just to talk in the comments, talking crap about the Vikings, but then calls himself a Viking fan. We appreciate you, Brian.
You know, Brian's negativity is something you can have as a goal, Keith, because he is definitely your master Jedi and you are his Padawan.
I think I was pretty good at the game.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I don't think I was group chat Keith at the game.
No,
I mean, I think probably that's the reason we lost. Now that we're boiling it down,
I told you I don't know how much of that negative power I have. I used a lot of that Monday night.
I know. The thing is, I mean, you could have risen up in the situation. There you were,
Keith.
I froze up under the bright lights.
Keith
I
didn't
think
get
what you needed to do was RKO that little kid in front of us.
Keith didn't get negative until the punt after the deep nailer throw. That's when
he really didn't even get negative. He just questioned it. The Keith that we know with his negative capabilities.
That one pissed me off.
I know. Me and you were looking like
when I saw the punt team come out there, I was like, wait, what? I thought it was a foregone conclusion that we went for it deep on 3rd down and 1, because if we don't get it, we're going to go for it on 4th with a play that you would get a 1st down with on 1 yard, because you're KOC, you're an offensive mastermind, this and that. You come from the McVay tree. Surely you have a play that got to have it. You're going to get it.
1 yard.
You're down 2 scores with 9 minutes left. Surely you're not going to punt it back to the team that's been draining the clock, running the ball. You're going to get pissed all over again.
Still the white flag.
So, hey, Lenny, just so you know, there was serious talks about, while we were at Mall of America, just tying Keith up with duct tape, putting him in the back of the car and going to the game.
Was there now? Where was I during these talks?
Oh, we said that shit right in front of your face.
Yeah. You were right there.
I must have been watching football on my phone, because
after the game, we all sat in that living room and we all looked at Keith. hey man, you might need to go to a Packers game or something, bro. Like, just you need to erase this, whatever you got going.
Yeah, but I'll go to a Viking Packer game.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you might need to erase whatever funk you got going on, man. You're on a losing streak.
Well, shit, technically, I'm on a losing streak now too.
Yeah, Shaq. Why isn't Shaq getting no heat for this?
That was my first game, Keith. That was my first game, Keith.
So I am 0-1 at home.
They will, but if they swing my way, I'm not gonna say, you know what? I'm bad luck. I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm not gonna do it. Sorry.
Let me tell you something. After this show, I'm gonna call your wife and be like, all right, here's the deal.
Oh,
He ain't going to that game. You get a honey-do list from hell for that man. He ain't going to that game.
she's like, I don't want him here.
I didn't say he had to be home. I said honey-do list.
All right, we're gonna try to get an enemy on real quick.
All right.
Robbie?
Sarah, where were you? Where were you, Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah.
You know what? Tommy, thank you for that shout out, but I didn't find it that hard to not drink at the game because when my team's losing, I drink less actually at a game because I'm like, I'm not spending $15 on a freaking beer while we're losing. It's when we're winning the problems. Like, oh yeah, I got money. Go ahead and get another beer. I'm gonna go get 2 of them. When we're losing, like I start pouting. I'm not spending no money on no beer.
Do you know what is some nonsense about that stadium? Is like the only thing negative about US Bank Stadium is it costs the same amount to buy a non-alcoholic beer that it does to buy an actual beer. I mean, I bought 2 free. I was like, fucking $13.25 for a non-alcoholic. I was like, can we get like a half price discount? Like, oh my jeez.
Yeah, that's the struggle. That when I still like want to taste the beer, it costs just as much, which kind of makes it easier just to not taste it and drink this stuff.
I did get a popcorn bowl out of this situation though, so it was good.
Did it make it home?
It made it home. It's washed, ready for the movie nights.
Nice.
Keith's been sober for about what, 2 months now?
4.
3?
4.
Yeah, and he looked. You should have seen him coming up the escalator, watching him. It wasn't the same Keith. This man's slim.
Well, there it is.
Keith talking about, y'all can walk on these things, right?
Yeah, we're all just standing like we're the ladies.
Well, I was like making me do all the damn walking.
What the thing is it made the video better with us standing still.
Yeah, the video was cool. Man, Fish is a giant, though. Fish is a giant. I don't know if you guys know that. Fish is a big guy.
We're about to throw him over out left tackle at one point.
I've been saying. Have I not been saying?
You have been saying. Let's see. Are we going to get Kyle? LA Bengals, I see you. So we got one. We're supposed to have 2 Bengals fans, and we're going to get this started. But I see you, LA Bengals. I am waiting for the one other guy. See if he makes it in. If not, we'll just get it started.
Let's get it started.
Congratulations on that, Tommy.
Hell yeah, man. My wife's going through the same battles, Tommy.
I am currently 2 weeks.
Oh, you can't be the one that greets with smoke anymore.
Oh yeah, well you see, I was looking for Lincoln, but Lincoln didn't come outside.
Man, 2 weeks. I just seen you eat 13 gummies.
True that. Shaq was happy, man.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry to call it out. I'm sorry to call it out, but you said it earlier.
I forgot.
What's this free taste like?
It was free samples, okay?
He's like, it's out of state. That don't count.
It was free samples. I had to make sure, the guy was getting his marketing out there.
Those were the skull gummies.
Shaq was Sam Darnold at one point, and then Skullfest. Seeing ghosts.
Skullfest was awesome. If you can make it next year, I recommend going and checking it out and just, being with all those Viking fans. But right now, we're going to go ahead and Skol with the Enemy. This is a segment where we like to bring on fans of the team that we're facing this weekend. Not attack each other, but kind of get a perspective from their side, and they can get a perspective from our side about what to expect in this game.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, and I see we have another somebody else from Houday Nation.
Houday.
So, Kyle, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us about your channel and your background as a Bengals fan.
All right. So yeah, I my YouTube channel is really just like a hobby project I've been doing ever since I was in not the YouTube channel I've been doing since high school, but I've been doing content like this since high school, and the channel is just kind of my latest excuse to put content out. Having a lot of fun with it this season. I stream every Bengals game. And I'm also doing a podcast right now with a Saints fan where I just came from doing that because we stream the Thursday night games and then we do podcast content kind of in the middle. Kind of doing like a recap style show right now on the channel. But as far as my history with the Bengals go, I'm born and raised in the Cincinnati area. My dad got into the Bengals in like one of their first playoff runs in 1975. But so I grew up, he got season tickets in the 90s, and so I was growing up. Well, yeah, but it was the 90s, so the Bengals in the 90s are not, But I was going to football games with my dad.
Right, exactly,
fun, right?
exactly.
So, I really kind of just enjoyed that, and so I got indoctrinated into the pain. So yeah, it was a fun time, but I grew up thinking they were going to be bad forever. And then they actually started getting okay there for a while. I think y'all can empathize with the fact that I'm still waiting to see him win a Super Bowl ring, but get there.
Yeah, we can definitely empathize with that.
Yeah, definitely. So, but LA Bengals fan, what's going on with you? What's that story, LA Bengals fan?
Thanks for having me on the show. Fan from the beginning, picked the team in '68, collecting football cards. Born in Texas, but grew up primarily in Los Angeles. That's why I don't have an accent. I didn't learn to speak in Texas. My dad was stationed in Fort Bliss during Vietnam, so I was born on an Army base, but moved here when I was 1. But my dad from Milwaukee was a diehard Packers fan. Okay, was one of the Milwaukee season ticket holders growing up. So you hear about the Milwaukee, because 2 games a year used to be played in Milwaukee. And now that they're all in Lambeau, they still have 2 games for the Milwaukee season ticket holders. So that's really? when you hear them say this is a Milwaukee game, that's what they're talking about. But my dad raised me not to be a fair weather fan. 5 years old, Bengal cards come out. I'm living in Los Angeles. I go, I'm going to like this team from the beginning. And so I'm a fan from the beginning. I have my own YouTube channel, LA Bengals fan. Started doing these podcasts on a group AFC North kind of channel called the Northerners in 2015. I was one of the 2 Bengal guys that would do the show. We had a Ravens, Browns, and Steelers guy. That channel kind of imploded, but we had built it up, and I took, launched my own channel and got most of my followers over. We had about 3,000 in our heyday, about 3,000 subscribers, but half of them were Bengals fans. It was basically a Bengals and Browns channel, and the Ravens guy killed the channel. But and I started doing the YouTube show for therapy more than anything else. I was so frustrated with Marvin Lewis that it would drive me nuts, and I would not want to do the show after we lost. But I realized that after we did the show, I felt better. And I said, you know what? This is actually really, really good therapy, because Marvin Lewis drove me nuts. This was a guy who didn't make adjustments at halftime. His feeling is I have a game plan and we've worked on it all week, and why would we scrap it at halftime? Well, you scrap it at halftime when you see it's not working. Zimmer would make adjustments on the defense, but Marvin would do nothing on the offense. He was one of the he did make us relevant and change kind of the culture in 2001. I think he became our head coach. Carson Palmer, Chad Ochocinco, TJ. I mean, that was his, and he made us relevant and put us on the map, but could never win a playoff game.
Hey, that sounds very familiar to our coach.
Yeah. Oh no, it's you called me the enemy. You said we like to enter the enemy, but I have nothing but respect for the Minnesota Vikings. I was a huge Fran Tarkington fan growing up. And so I've been through my experience is usually I'm one of the elder guys. I get pulled in on shows like when the Bengals had their 50th year anniversary. I would get pulled in on shows because there were guys that weren't started following the Bengals in 1990. You need somebody
like
who
Kyle.
knows the 70s teams, the 60s, and so like I said, I'm one of those fans from the beginning. On my Twitter account, I think it says it might even say it on my YouTube channel. It says basically, I just want to see them win a Super Bowl while I'm still alive. If you had told me growing up in LA, if you had told me in the 80s, when the Bengals went to 2 Super Bowls, if you had told me in the 80s that the Kings would have 2 Stanley Cups and the Bengals, who went to 2 Super Bowls in the 80s, if you had told me, I would have said you're crazy in the 80s. We went to 2 Super Bowls, Paul Brown, but everything changed when Paul Brown passed away. Mike Brown took over the team. He's not Paul Brown. We've seen kind of a little bit of the changing of the guard with Katie Blackburn taking the helm. He's more of a Mike Brown is more of a figurehead now, but still, it's frustrating. And I identify with your fan base. We've been to 3 Super Bowls, didn't win any. You've been to 4 Super Bowls, you haven't won them. Your best chance was probably the Randall Cunningham year, and you got hosed by a kicker who missed his first field goal in the whole season. He chose to, yeah. I mean, I really felt.
I didn't expect to get attacked like. I didn't expect to get attacked like this.
No, I'm not attacking you.
I know you. I know you're not.
Our teams are really similar in that
we are
reached the point to where you can taste it and they don't grab the brass ring. I mean, so it's
no. It's just funny hearing you talk. Cause like all your stories you're telling is like that's the same thing with us. Even the way you started your podcast, like ours started out with a little venting session too when we lost to the Giants in the playoff game on that 4th and 8. When Kirk threw it short and we lost to the Giants after winning 13 games. We already had planned to go live for our first time after that game. But once the game ended, I told Fish, he was like, Fish, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm pissed off. I'm not doing it. He's like, just do it. You'll feel better. Yeah. 3 hours later, I'm like, you know what, Fish? I feel better. So yeah,
it's why definitely how therapy works. I mean, it really, I would vet and there are so many times because we have about 5 guys that do our show. And today, like I only got one of them, but usually we try to get, 2, 3, 4, 5. But, I've had times where guys say, I don't want to do the show. And I say, come on, let's just do it. And then afterwards, when we end the recording, we don't do it live, but we end the recording and everybody says, I feel better. I kind of got it out, and you can go watch the rest of your Sunday football, and you still don't watch ESPN afterwards, and my friends know not to talk to me till until like Wednesday when the Bengals lose, but it's,
wait, you mean some of your members of your show actually get to miss a week?
So yeah, some of my members get to. I've got we use a guy.
What kind of collective bargaining agreement did they have? Where
you
they
know what
do that?
I take what I can get. They're friends of mine. We're all hardcore fans. My show is by fans for fans. We don't put ads on in the middle. It's
there's too many similarities. There's too many similarities.
Get this guy out of here, Keith.
Get this guy. That's what we say. I mean, our things by Vikings fans, for Viking fans.
Well, you can go back. You can go back to the AFC Northerners channel, and you will hear me say that. So, if you want to predate it, I was doing it in 2015. I don't know how long.
No. It's just funny. We got so many similarities, like our team and our podcast.
We asked the show, and that's why I agreed to do it. So
yeah, the enemy thing. We're not calling you an enemy. That's just the segment.
Yeah. Oh, I know. No, I was just kidding. Yeah, no.
Wait a minute,
really don't care.
Hold on. You're getting a little ahead of it. Riverside Restaurant, Covington, Kentucky. Good or no?
Wait, what?
Riverside Restaurant, Covington, Kentucky. Good restaurant or no?
I don't think I've been there.
It's a Korean restaurant.
I don't think I've been there.
Enemies.
Okay.
Enemies. Okay. Hey,
Cody, do you have a question?
Yeah, I got a couple questions. So, like you mentioned Marvin Lewis, right? And how he hasn't won a playoff game. He's bad at adjusting. Do you see a similarity between Marvin Lewis and Kevin O'Connell?
I don't watch your games close enough. I'm focused. If you're playing at the same time slot we are, I'll catch highlights but I can't really answer that question in terms of making adjustments. If he doesn't make adjustments, then yeah, he's just like Marvin Lewis.
Kevin O'Connell's a lot more aggressive than Marvin Lewis was, though.
Oh yeah, Marvin Lewis would take. We talked about this just on our last show with the Jacksonville game. Marvin Lewis would have punted with 3.5 minutes left with a 4th down and 5. He would not have gone for it, and that was kind of it says a lot about Jake Browning. It was a pressure play, and we ended up converting and keeping the drive going, and it led to. But Marvin Lewis would have said, well, I got the 2-minute warning and I got 3 timeouts and I'm going to let my defense maybe stop them. And my attitude is like, you might never see the ball back,
or he would have taken all those timeouts in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, it's just clock management. And I can't. Zach Taylor has the same issues, but that's kind of, I gave him kudos for not punting.
But he at least makes halftime adjustments, which Marvin Lewis never did.
No. Zimmer, when the Bengals did make some adjustments, it was always Mike Zimmer. And when Mike Zimmer came and coached you guys, that we went right back to not making any halftime adjustments.
Yeah.
So your current team, right? The way the kind of the streak that you guys have been going on ever since you got Burrow. This might be a little too old for you, Kyle, but how do you feel about this team versus, say, like the Kenny Anderson years?
I talked a lot about when I went on this one show on our 50th, it was 1998, I think we were, or 2018, where we had our 50th. The Kenny Anderson team was kind of they didn't pass the ball as much, okay? And you had Forrest Gregg as your coach, who was more of a smash mouth, kind of run the ball with Pete Johnson down your throat. The Sam Weiss team in '88 was a more of like your pre-Bills team. Marv Levy copied a lot of the things that Sam Weiss was doing. We called it the cuddle huddle or the attack huddle or the sugar huddle, where they would line up right off the ball. He ran a different type of team. This team is more like the Sam Weiss kind of team. They love to sling the ball. They've got speed, but the game is different. It's hard to compare the eras. The game is just a different game than it was in the 70s and then again in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So
Kyle, we heard LA say that he's got respect for the Vikings. What's your opinion on the Vikings as a team as a whole and this season?
Well, I was actually going to. I think this season, I really want to see what JJ McCarthy's got, which is going to be unfortunate that he's not going to be playing. But I grew up around a lot of obnoxious Ohio State fans, so I just kind of it makes me feel a little smile a little on the inside when Michigan gets one up on them. But I'm a Kentucky fan, so it doesn't really matter that much to me. But
you just made Unc fell in love with you.
Well, there you go. But like, I don't know. Right now, I think the Vikings are like one of those teams that I feel like could be like right on the edge of the playoffs. But I think there's a really good shot that, frankly, they miss it this year if you just can't get any consistency out of JJ McCarthy. And that'll be unfortunate. But I've always kind of had a little bit of a soft spot for the Vikings. But I'm not going to lie, my most recent because I thought it was hilarious when Brett Favre joined the Vikings, right? I just thought that was great television. And when Mike Zimmer was your coach, I don't know how y'all specifically feel about Mike Zimmer, but we love Mike Zimmer here in Cincinnati. Yeah. But I gotta
Mike
say,
Zimmer was phenomenal.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer is an amazing human being. When his wife Vicky passed away, Marvin Lewis had, they were best friends, and Marvin Lewis had a player or a coach go to dinner with Mike Zimmer every single night. Mike Zimmer immersed himself in work after that happened. And like I said, Marvin Lewis made sure that he never ate dinner alone. Yeah. Every night, a player, a coach would go with him to dinner the entire time, for months after that passing. The Bengals were family to Zimmer. It killed me. I wanted Marvin Lewis to step up into the GM spot and us to make Mike Zimmer our head coach.
They were never
I was devastated when we lost him. I really was.
So let me ask you guys the real question, the question that's on everybody's mind. if the Vikings and the Bengals straight up traded 1-for-1 Chase for Jefferson, does either team get better?
I think it's a lateral move, and
I
I don't think I'm going to tell you something. I don't think.
Actually, I think both teams get worse.
Yeah, I think the Bengals get worse, and I'm going to say this just for something that happened today. Did you see the interview with Jamar Chase on what he was doing? He said, "I'm going by, and I'm going to go hang with Joe at his house before his surgery is scheduled for tomorrow."
Yeah,
I mean, he made a comment and said, "I'm going to go," because they're best friends. Their parents are best friends. So I think it would actually be, in taking that into account, that's something outside the team, outside the locker room. I think we lose a lot if we separate Jamar and Joe.
I think the talent on each team stays about the same. You have about the same level of potential, but I think both teams potentially get a little worse in the passing game because you lose that chemistry that already exists between the players. Now, maybe the Bengals get a little worse than the Vikings, but I'm not saying this because, Jamar Chase is phenomenally better than Justin Jefferson. I'm saying this because, Jamar Chase has more building chemistry with the guy who's, even with Jake Browning, he's got more chemistry with Jake Browning than Justin Jefferson's going to have with, Carson Wentz.
Speaking of Jake Browning and, Joe Burrow being out and having surgery and all that, do you guys feel that the Bengals are still a playoff team without Joe Burrow?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the Bengals, I don't think that they're a Super Bowl team anymore. I don't see Jake Browning getting us to the Super Bowl. Looking at our start, and we did a schedule show on my channel, but I knew we had kind of a soft start, and we got lucky. But we had a soft start team-wise when you look at our schedule with the first two, and we've got a soft finish. We've got Miami, Arizona, and the Browns again to finish. But it's what's in the middle. I mean, we literally go Baltimore, Buffalo, Baltimore. We have a stretch where we're getting Green Bay and Detroit in back-to-back weeks. I know y'all are going to be rooting for us in both of those games.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have, there's some tough games on our calendar, and we need to pull out. Looking at the schedule, we need to pull out 5 to 6 wins out of these next 12 games. And that's why this is actually a really critical game for us because, we have then we go to Denver, but then we start the Green Bay, Detroit, Pittsburgh. I mean, you start that meat of the schedule. And this is, and I'll get into it when we talk more about the game in terms of, but, this is one of those games. I really don't know what we're going to see out of either of our teams. We haven't seen Carson Wentz is on his 6th team in 6 seasons. You don't know what you're going to have. We kind of know what we're going to have with Jake Browning, but our defense is still developing and getting better. They've actually been better than I thought they would be to start the year. Al Golden's done a good job, but it's I compare this. I didn't say it on my show today, but I use this analogy all the time. It's kind of like both our teams are a dented can with no label. We don't know what we're going to see until Sunday. We really don't. We could be yams, could be fruit cocktail, could be cream of corn. Oh, you don't know what's in the can. I mean, and that's kind of Vegas is saying that too. If you think about it, you're a 3-point favorite. Home field is 3 points.
Not anymore.
What are you down to 1?
1.5 point favorite.
Okay, so the betting public kind of likes the Bengals and the points, but when the line came out, that's what they were saying. Had the game been in Cincinnati, we would have been a 3-point favorite to open. And they're saying, with the over under at 43, they're saying this is like a 23-20 game. So this is one of those things. I don't think Vegas knows we don't know what we're going to have till Sunday. We really don't.
Hey, Kyle. Other than Trey Hendrickson, who do we need to worry about on your defense?
Well, I don't think Shamar Stewart's going to play. He did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. It would be nice because he's been disruptive. You're going to have Osai and probably a platooning of Osai and Miles Murphy on the other side. Your line has some issues, so it's can you stop Trey?
I don't think there's any Trey Hendrickson is the only guy that you really need to worry about that much. There's other guys, but for the other guys, it's mainly, them getting pick happy or something like that. It's there. This is an opportunistic defense. And that's always been when the defense is performing well, it's always been because they will get turnovers at really opportune times, but they'll also let you march 80 yards down the field in pretty much every other instance, right? But then again, you still might get at the 2-yard line and they'll find a way to come up with some crazy ass, fumble or something.
It's Al Golden's got them trying to not give up the big play, and we're just seeing it come together. This is week 3 of the Al Golden defense. Like I said, that's why we like with JJ McCarthy, we've only seen 8 quarters of him. The fourth quarter against the Bears was a great quarter for him, but you don't know what you have in him yet. There's not enough. He hasn't developed enough. We don't know how our defense is. This is game 3 of the Al Golden era. And
you might want to pay attention to Demetrius Knight, the linebacker, though, because he's good at disrupting and kind of like making the plays. He's not going to take over by himself, but he might kind of make some plays kind of like chaotic, and that's where the Bengals defense can really kind of make their mark when things start getting chaotic.
What are you guys more worried about? What are you guys more worried about? Your defense, right? Your defense or our offense? What are you guys more worried about?
I said it on my show today. The key matchup is going to be your defense against our offense.
Okay.
Our defense, with the injuries you have on your line, I think we keep this game close. I really do. And I think the betting public thinks that. I think Vegas thinks that. But the key is going to be, can we score on Brian Flores? He's a great defensive coordinator. He really is. The key matchup is going to be your defense against our offense. Can we put up enough points to steal one in Minnesota?
Now, historically, our defense is bad against backup quarterbacks, so consider that. That might be something you might want to pay attention to.
Another commonality.
But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I think I would be more worried about. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. But I'm biased in the wrong direction. I don't know. But I'm just a little bit more worried about our defense. But maybe it's just because they've hurt me so much.
Yeah, I hear you.
Who's y'all starting running back?
Chase
Brown.
Gangster.
Yeah, he's good.
He's got game.
He's good. For a 5th round pick, phenomenal.
He's going to step back fantasy-wise, I think, with Browning in the game. I think they're going to put more on the box, and they're going to take away the run game. They're going to try to take Chase Brown away from Browning.
I think that he's actually going to improve fantasy-wise, though, because I think Zach Taylor's has shown that he's more willing to call running plays when Jake Browning's back there.
So Fish, go ahead and go after Chase Brown in your fantasy league. Do you guys have any concerns or questions about the Vikings?
Yeah. I mean, what are your feelings? Do you guys think you're what are your feelings on Carson Wentz? I did not watch Viking preseason games, so I haven't seen what Carson Wentz can do.
We just signed him 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we haven't seen him yet either.
So we signed him so that preseason was over.
No, we had Sam Howell, and we traded Sam Howell after the last preseason game and playing Carson Wentz. Yeah. But Cody, how do you think that Carson Wentz is going to do against that Bengal defense?
So I think Carson Wentz is going to do well just because he fits KOC's scheme better than what JJ McCarthy fitted. Like, KOC doesn't adjust. I've been saying this for a while now. We don't run the fucking ball. That's our problem. And you need JJ McCarthy. You need to run the ball so he can open the play action and throw the ball deep. With Carson Wentz, you got a stronger arm that throws the ball down the field, right? And if we run the ball 14 times and Carson Wentz is our quarterback, I'm fine with it, right? It's when JJ McCarthy's our quarterback and we run 14 times, I'm not fine with it because the scheme's just not tailored to your quarterback. Right. I think Carson Wentz plays to this scheme that we have now, and I think the ball is slung all over your defense. It's going to be an interception fest, in my opinion. Browning's going to throw a bunch of interceptions. Carson Wentz going to throw a bunch of interceptions. It's just whoever has the least amount of interceptions in the game is going to win this game.
That is the least hot take I've heard all week.
Yeah, it's not even hot at all. It's what it is.
Interceptions and penalties. Yeah. You watch tonight's game. I mean, how big was that roughing the punter?
Yeah, big.
I mean, that changed the game. The Dolphins were right there, toe to toe. They get the ball back, tie game, and all of a sudden, you give Josh Allen a second chance, and he burns you at penalties and turnovers. The game's that close. And like I said, we really don't. We've got Jake Browning. I think we have a slight advantage in quarterbacks only because Browning's been with us for years. He played. He was 5-3 when he stepped in for Burrow in 23. So he's played games in this offense. He's got chemistry with the players,
and he hates the Vikings.
He does hate the Vikings because we cut him. But I also saw, I know you guys ended up winning the game last week, but I saw he threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, he didn't take – this is a week where he's got all the first-string snaps. You know, he's gotten the whole week. And hopefully they game plan where they don't put him in the pressure that he was put in. He also, like I said, you look at that last drive of the game, and you look at him coming in at half and leading a touchdown drive right out of the locker room. You know, he's got game, and I'm comfortable with him. That's why I say we're still a playoff team, because Browning has been our backup for a while. Yeah. He's got chemistry, and he's played a number of games for us and has a winning record, and showed that that's a clutch drive down the game. I mean, I know we got a pass interference penalty to help us, but that's still a 4th down he converted. That's still getting the ball in over the, instead of doing the tush push, I guess you'd call it the leg toss or whatever, because, they kind of threw him up over the pile instead of under. Everybody went under, and he jumped over with the ball. But I mean, that's a clutch drive. You can't how players respond under duress. That's something you either have it or you don't have it. And Jake showed that he will respond under duress. So
you guys sound very confident in Jake Browning.
We don't know what Carson Wentz is going to do. Carson Wentz is a Ben Roethlisberger type. He's big. He's hard to bring down. And this team, the team that we currently have now, didn't play Ben Roethlisberger. Okay, the oldest player we have on our roster, the longest standing player, is Drew Sample. So, and he was drafted by Zach Taylor. So. Good Lord.
Hey, hold on, guys. Sarah, I'm going to talk to you right now. We didn't run the ball when it mattered, and that's 2 yards or short. All right? Those downs, we didn't run the ball. We chose to pass the ball. We have Jordan Mason in the backfield, didn't utilize him.
And we also ran over 40 plays and only ran the ball 14 times. Yeah. So, no, not half. Sorry, getting sidetracked by the chat. Fish, help these guys out. Who's a player that, as Bengal fans and not watching Viking games, they might not be too familiar with, but maybe they should pay attention to in this game for us?
Well, I don't know if you would not be familiar with him, but Hargrave has been just wrecking shit inside these first 2 games. He is I talked to a 49ers fan before the season started and told him about how happy I was with Mason. Then I talked to him about Hargrave. And he said, yeah, the only thing we question about Hargrave is his effort, taking plays off. Well, in the first 8 quarters that man has played for us, he has not taken plays off. There is all kinds of pass rush coming for Jake Browning. And he's direct. He's going to be in his face right at the beginning. So that's somebody for you guys to really be worried about.
Yeah, I'm concerned. Like I said, my biggest concern is Brian Flores. It really is. I mean, he's going to scheme up something to disrupt our offense. He's a great defensive coordinator. And you guys have good personnel. That's why I said our key matchup is going to be the Vikings defense against our offense.
As far as Hargrave goes, I do kind of like what we have on the interior of the offensive line right now, though. You guys are familiar with Dalton Reisner.
I like that you have him too.
Yeah, we're good with that.
But I mean, he's good in pass protection. At least he's been.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say something that I like what you just said about Hargrave. Sometimes a change of scenery is good for a player. Okay, so Dalton may be giving us more game than he gave you, just like Hargrave is giving you more game than he gave Niner fans. Sometimes change of scenery is a kick in the ass that you need.
That's because Hargrave missed 14 games because of injury the year before. And Dalton Reisner came from the Broncos to us, and he was a better Bronco than a Viking. So that change of scenery doesn't always work out. And I don't know, man. I looked up, I go on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and it doesn't seem like Bengal fans are too thrilled with Dalton Reisner to this point.
Well, he missed the block that Joe Burrow got.
Yeah.
So,
really? He did.
But that's okay.
But I really, really don't think that was the offensive. Because people kill the Bengals offensive line and they kill the Bengals for not protecting Joe Burrow. But I think maybe this is because you guys asked me to bring a hot take, and I don't know if this really counts toward it, but I think Joe Burrow's got some culpability in the way that he just doesn't protect himself.
I was just going to say the same thing. Joe Burrow does not like it when Drew Sample's in the game. He wants Gesicki and another receiver out there. He doesn't want the extra protection. Sometimes he holds the ball too long.
Exactly. That's a big thing with Browning is he'll throw the ball away if he needs to.
Yeah. Think about in the preseason, did y'all watch the play where Burrow was running around like Keystone Cops against the Redskins? Or I guess it's the Commanders. I'm sorry. I will always call them the San Diego Chargers. They will always be the Washington Redskins to me. It's just that's where my brain's at. But they're playing Washington. He's running around in this Keystone Cops play. It's preseason, and he takes a hit he should never have taken in the preseason.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
He won't let the play go. And sometimes, he asks too much of his offensive line. Sometimes he, like I said, wants to have Noah Fant and Gesicki and his 3 wideouts in there, and he doesn't want the extra protection. So and he wants Chase Brown in the backfield instead of Samaje Perine, who's a better blocker on passing downs. So, sometimes it adds to stuff. And I love Joe as a competitor, but sometimes he holds the ball too long.
He is an elite, amazing quarterback.
Yeah.
But he also wants to play like Ben Roethlisberger, but he's got the build of Kenny Pickett.
And I think you guys are higher on Jake Browning than you are on Burrow.
No,
no. I just watched
it. It just kind of sounds that way.
No. Burrow is clutch. I'm just saying, he's hurt right now on a play where, maybe if he had just gone down or Drew Sample would have been in here, he wouldn't have had the toe injury. So Joe Burrow's our man. If we're going to win a Super Bowl, it's going to be Joe Burrow that's going to lead us there. Jake Browning is not going to take us into Buffalo and win.
Yeah, we need like a miracle Nick Foles type of season from Jake Browning for that.
Jake Browning is not going to take us into Kansas City and win. Burrow's done that twice.
But I do think there are things that Joe Burrow can learn from Jake Browning. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I'm going to say this. If you guys are happy with Dalton Reisner and lauding him, man, I feel really good about our defensive line this game.
Well, you don't know who he was replacing. He's an upgrade at our.
Well, I'm just saying if he's the upgrade and that's who you're happy with, I feel really good about our chances of getting to the quarterback.
The Bengals have had this love-hate relationship with their O-line. It's not that they haven't thrown the money or the resources at it, they just have not been able to put together that Baltimore Ravens type of offensive line. Mm-hmm. They just haven't been able to. So
Kyle. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us a player that we should be worried about that maybe as Viking fans we're not familiar with, not a household name?
Do you know the name Mitchell Tinsley?
Yes. Has he played this season besides preseason?
Yeah, he had a spectacular, amazing catch against the Jaguars. When Jake Browning goes into the game, and we're all sitting here thinking like, oh man, what's gonna happen? Like, Joe Burrow's out. We're thinking like, is he gonna come back at some point? Is this gonna be another like the whole season type of thing? We don't know what's going on. We just want to see something that's gonna give us something to hope for. And then Mitchell Tinsley, this nobody undrafted. I think he was undrafted, but he was on the
he was undrafted
for a couple of years.
He was undrafted by Washington. He got UDFA'd.
Yeah, but he was on their practice squad. Never really did too much. I think he might have come in for like a play or two during his career with Washington, but comes here to Cincinnati and he just blows the water out of the preseason, having all these spectacular catches. And at this point, our 3rd round pick, who could have been a 1st round pick if he had his head on straight, Jermaine Burton, has pretty much lost his job in the depth chart to Mitchell Tinsley because Mitchell Tinsley's just raced past him with all the work ethic and everything. And he seems like he's got a connection with Jake Browning now. So, like him, Andre Yoshivas might be another guy that, Vikings fans might not know about, but, it's not just all about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. There's there's a lot of talent in this, as far as these weapons go.
So you
guys got more wide receivers than we have cornerbacks.
Jacksonville last week.
Yeah, that was the most beautiful. That
chin down. He's made the most of his opportunity, and I tweeted out. If you go to my LA Bengals fan Twitter, you could see when he made the catch in the preseason. I said, "Bye, Burton." I knew that he was going to make the team. And Zach Taylor, all he said was, "He's a baller. He's a baller." And he did enough when he had minimal snaps in the third preseason game. I knew he'd made the roster.
I mean, here's the thing: if Jermaine Burton is an undrafted guy who we bring in for a flyer, and Mitchell Tinsley's the guy we got in the third round, that'd still be weird. But at the same time, it'd be a lot better than what we actually ended up getting for our third round pick.
Burton came in very entitled. He had discipline issues at Alabama. It's you know, he didn't take advantage of the opportunity that was presented him.
Yeah,
and
so let me ask you about these two players on defense, since they was like the last couple drafts. Chris Jenkins Jr., how is he playing out for y'all?
It's pretty good.
He's actually been serviceable. He's made strides every year. I mean, it's a not glamorous position. We've been trying to fill the spot that DJ Reader, you know, when we went to the Super Bowl, I mean, we missed him. The Bengals players hit 30. The Bengals won't pay him. And if I'm not mistaken, Reader is still, making plays for Detroit. You guys watch Detroit closer than we do. So being in your division,
he's also had a lot of injury issues. That's part of why the Bengals moved on.
But we're still trying to find that tackle, nose tackle, and Jenkins platoons in, and he's serviceable. But we're still, like I said, trying to find Reader. We tried signing Sheldon Rankins. That didn't work out. He's back on Houston. But, once again, it's one of those things where we should have kept Reader.
Chris Jenkins
figured out a way to keep him.
Chris Jenkins, we brought him in essentially to be that run stuffing big nose tackle type, like he was saying. But he every once in a while he'll get involved in a sack, and it's like, oh, I see you, Chris Jenkins. Okay, so I mean, he's pretty good. I like Chris Jenkins. I'm happy he's here.
Yeah, I'll give you two guys on defense you got to worry about, since he gave you offensive guys. We already talked about Knight, our rookie. Logan Wilson is a stud linebacker, but Logan Wilson has been our only stud linebacker. He now has another linebacker of his caliber right next to him. He had a great preseason. He's all over the field, so watch out for Knight. And Jordan Battle, who had a really good season last year, then had a very bad preseason, and I was concerned about him, has been balling a lot. He's out there making plays, so keep an eye on Jordan Battle. So those would be the two defensive players I would tell you to keep an eye on, outside of obviously Trey. Everything starts. You got to remember, when you get pressure on the quarterback, that makes your linebackers better. That makes your DBs better. So
absolutely,
if you get pressure on it, you're going to see we've got good DBs as long as they're not exposed. If we're not getting pressure on it, you can expose any secondary. If the quarterback has time. So, but bad. It's been a bend don't break kind of defense under Al Golden for the first couple of games, and we've made some acrobatic plays. Our interceptions haven't been thrown directly to guys. These are tipped up balls that guys are diving for. Dax Hill had one, DJ Turner had one, and Jordan Battle had one. So, we'll hopefully our opportunistic secondary will show up on Sunday.
All right. Well, before I get your guys' score predictions and your hot takes for this game, do you have any other questions for Viking fans?
I actually
go for it.
What the hell does SKOL mean?
It means cheers.
Oh, it's like
basically to your health.
It's basically a cheers.
So it's like slancha.
Yeah, it's basically like we don't care about Super Bowl, we're just happy.
Okay.
We're supposed to be drinking out of the skull of our enemy when we say it, but we're going to leave that one to the pros.
Because I was the reason I asked that is because one like you guys asked about my history with the Vikings, and one thing that kind of came to mind was y'all remember that 21 game where we played y'all in the first week?
Oh no, we don't remember that game at all.
Where Dalvin Cook didn't fumble, but they said he fumbled. Yeah,
I actually, if it makes you feel better, I actually think I said it on my channel. I'm like, I don't think he actually fumbled, guys. But you know what? The number of times that we had been on the losing side of that, it's like, hey, y'all can sit to the side. Like, see, the shit happens sometimes. But I'll tell you one thing. Like, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for the Vikings, but in that game, like, I was at that game in Cincinnati, and Vikings fans would just not shut the hell up with the SKOL chants all damn game. And when we and they were talking so much shit as they were about to win that game, and then we won the game, and it was just so much fun shouting down the escalator at them, SKOL!
Yeah, as a Viking fan, anytime you lose, you're gonna get that from even if no matter where we go. Like,
yeah,
I walk out of stadiums and I get the school, like that.
You know what? I was at the Super Bowl. I go to and we got the hooday as we were leaving SoFi Stadium. So
that just comes with the territory.
Our house hooday. So we have our chance. Every team does. It's about respect for the fans. In terms of
it's all fun.
And don't let them Saints fans say they said who dat before who day, because you guys had an 81. The Saints didn't start saying it since 83.
Yeah, I actually did a whole video on that.
Yeah. So now we have, I don't know if Kyle has had the same experience. We have a lot of Saints fans watching our show because we're kind of their surrogate AFC team. So, I mean, last year, I think it was last season or the season before when we went down to New Orleans. I mean, you had Burrow and Chase come out of the tunnel. They were cheered in New Orleans. We are their surrogate AFC team, and they don't have so I know that they came into the season thinking they were going to be following the Bengals closely, rooting for Burrow and Chase to get to the, to the postseason. And, hopefully we can still get there. But, But I have a soft spot. Like I said, we've got a long history with LSU. Whitworth is a Tiger. So we've had our share of LSU players. So we have a Saints fans follow us.
All right, so LA, give us your score prediction for this game.
You know what? I told you I think this is going to be this is a coin flip kind of game. I'm being a homer here because we really need it. Also because I bet the over 9.5 wins on the season total. So we need to get to 10 wins if I'm going to win that bet. But aside from that, I think this is a game we really, really need. We need to win this game. We need to win next week in Denver because then the proverbial shit hits the fan with starting with Green Bay, Detroit, and our whole line of games comes. I'm going 24-21 Bengals. On my show today, my counterpart, another Bengals fan, he had 23-17 Vikings. We don't always just pick, that's what his gut was telling him. And he says he hopes he's wrong, but you can watch the show we put up at today at 2:00 on the LA Bengals fan channel, and Devin picked the Vikings 23-17. I think we do just enough. I think the edge of Browning knowing our offense is going to be just enough to get us that extra kick. I haven't seen enough from the Vikings to, like I said, we've seen 8 quarters. We have 1 quarter with 21 points, and we've got 7 quarters with a field goal each quarter. So I haven't, that's why I think our defense will do enough to keep the game close. And I think Jake Browning's chemistry and have been in our system for so many years gets us that little extra bit. And I'm hoping we sneak out of Minnesota with the win because we desperately need this win.
Yeah, we need it too. Kyle, what's your prediction for this game?
I actually literally just came from going through my prediction on my podcast, so I'm practiced for this. Big shock. The 2 Bengals fans are both picking the Bengals to win. So I think this is actually going to be a bit of a high scoring game because, as I said before, we don't exactly do well against backup quarterbacks. Y'all got some weapons. We got some weapons. And I think that's the thing. Like a lot of people, I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier or not, but if I did, to reiterate the point, a lot of people, one of the biggest criticisms people levy against Joe Burrow is like, oh, how good can he really be with all those weapons? Jake Browning's about to have a bunch of weapons to play with. So I'm thinking just based off of the results that I've seen from these 2 teams so far, I've got 31-27. The Bengals are going to take it. And we do struggle with backup quarterbacks, but we are undefeated against Carson Wentz. One of those was a tie, but we are undefeated against Carson Wentz. And my big hot take is I think that Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I don't know who's going to have more touchdowns, but I think combined they're going to get 5 touchdowns.
Okay, so if you're a gambling person, which I am, he says the over is a slam dunk because it's 42.5. I see a lower scoring game. If it does hit, and I do have it hitting at 24-21, but it's going to barely hit. He's got it where you've won your bet in the third quarter. I mean, that's
I got the under too. I mean, I'm a
yeah. It's I teased
Cool,
the
did
under.
you just tell everybody to take the over in the chat?
Yeah, no, I said under.
Yeah, he said
I'm
that.
pretty sure. He said,
I said the
I
under.
was like, why are you trying to mislead everybody?
No.
All right, fellas. Well, thank you for joining us. We do
We
go
don't get
live
to hear
after
your
every game.
predictions. We don't.
We do a whole little segment with them, but do you guys want to go through them?
Hey, let's run it.
All right. Well, let's wait for Shaq to get back because then I clip this. Or Shaq.
He went somewhere. There we go.
Oh, he is.
We showed up at least. I like that.
All right, Shaq. We're gonna do our predictions for this game.
Oof.
Hit him with it, Michael Fish.
Ready?
Yep.
I am actually picking the same score as Kyle Phelps, except Vikings 31, Bengals 27.
Oh, we got 2 guys on the over there. Okay.
What do you got, Cody?
I'm picking the under on this. I do think Carson Wentz fits what KOC's scheme is now and what it should be with JJ McCarthy. I think the Carson Wentz slings the ball downfield. I don't think the Bengals got the defense to stop the offense going forward. I think our defense is really good. I think we're going to pressure Jake Browning a lot. I got Vikings 27-10.
Okay, you don't even have a close game.
No.
Cody disrespectful like that.
Just because I think Carson Wentz fits the scheme KOC's brought out the past 4 games. It's
Carson
just
Wentz don't play defense though.
yeah, but yeah, our defense does and yours doesn't. So that's the problem.
That you know what you like that was a shot, but you're not wrong. So
What do you got, Shaq?
I got 14-10. Vikings win.
Wow.
I'm not gonna say anything
Boring-ass
about.
game, Shaq.
See, Fitch, I was just
Yeah,
gonna say
shit.
I'm not gonna say anything about boring games and not being happy with a boring win because I said that before the Atlanta game. We all went to Minnesota this past weekend to go to that game. None of us live in Minnesota, but we all flew out there for that game and watched that miserable game in person. And I would have gladly have taken a 3-0 win.
Listen,
I'd take a 2-0 win.
I'll take a 3-0 win all day long. That's one of the things that really scares me going into this week is the game you played last week. I would much rather catch a team coming
Scares
off a
us
win,
too.
feeling good about themselves. You guys, it was an ugly game, and
was.
and
Scares
you're
us
not
too.
gonna. I don't think you're gonna do that again.
No.
So, you know,
I don't
like
think
I said,
I don't think we will if we get Darrisaw back either. Or left tackle is the second most important position of football.
yeah, no, and you get
He comes back.
And so I'm hoping they line up Trey on the other side. Is what I'm hoping they move him around.
There's a good tackle over there too.
Yeah, I know, but you know, you have some injuries on the O line, and so, but yeah, getting Darrisaw back, you know, I wouldn't have shed a tear if he was out one more week, but he's back, and we have to play him. You play who's there, so I'm expecting, like I said, I'm expecting a really good game, and I respect your franchise. I don't want you to think I disrespect you in any way whatsoever, because you know, I'll say things about the Ravens and the Steelers and the Browns, but I have, going back to my childhood, you know, rooting for Fran Tarkington all that time.
Who's the guy who ran the touchdown the wrong way?
That was
Why
Jim
you gotta
Marshall.
do that?
Jim Marshall.
Kick this guy off the game.
Hey, I didn't bring that up. I didn't bring that up.
All right, so if I have this correctly, the Viking fans so far have all picked the Vikings. The Bengal fans have picked the Bengals, and now I got to make mine. And I just think you guys are all crazy.
Okay, I'm not going to deny
What are you
that.
calling it, a tie?
14-14.
No, man, Vikings are winning this game 23-19.
All
right,
so
there you
just
go.
divided
Okay.
on team lines here. That's fair. We're all
Okay.
homers.
There you go.
Look at Keith again.
19?
Differential.
That's 3 unders and 2 overs for those of you keeping score. So there you have it.
All right.
But Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. And good luck Sunday.
Yeah, we go live after the game. We go live after the game. If you guys want to join us to talk win or lose, I'll shoot you guys a link. You guys don't have to join us, but I will send you guys a link.
You can
it's
send me
actually
a
just
link.
an open. It's an open forum. We let the fans, Viking fans, come on, and you guys want to come on, just talk it out. We call it aftercare. So
Okay.
I know you guys probably got your own shows, so no hard feelings.
We do a recap immediately after. We don't go live. I record it. We upload it. So if you send me the link and you guys are still live, I don't mind clicking it. It's all on timing. So
I just stream during the game.
We
So
go,
if you send, I'll probably be available.
All right. Well, I'll send you guys the link and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to say good luck, but I hope it's a good game.
No, and you know what?
No injuries.
You know what I want to see? I was just going to say that. You know what I want to see more than anything else? Because after this week, you're rooting for us and we're rooting for you because you're going to be playing our division. And
definitely no injuries. No injuries.
Yeah, in 3 weeks, we're going to be playing Green Bay and Detroit. You want us to win?
I can agree with that.
So I hope no injuries. Good game. All right.
Hey, before you guys leave, though, we haven't gotten anyone to do it yet. But can you guys give us a let's skull?
Well, I don't know how to. I mean, is that what you do? Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
There we go.
But you're going to give me a who day. Give me a who day. I gave you a let's skull. Come on, man.
Come on, Cody.
Nope, it can't happen. First, thank you.
So I was being a gracious guest. I'm really, Cody. I'm really hurt and disappointed.
Well, you did it first. This is the first one.
So I was.
I'll give you a who day.
So there you go.
I'll give you a who day.
There you go. It's respect. I think that our franchises have such a similar history, and our neuroses that we all have. 6 squares here. We all have the same neuroses because what our team has done to us when they've gotten to the big dance. So, like I said, we have a similar history. So I'm trying to like forge some brotherhood with you guys. All right.
Yeah, just don't fire Mike Zimmer again, and maybe I can get on board with that.
Mike Zimmer deserved to get fired. Mike Zimmer was very loved by this fan base until the last maybe 2 seasons, and he did all that to himself. It was self-poisoning, and he didn't get along with the GM, and it was messy. But we loved Zimmer for the first few years. We did, and still wish him nothing but the best. Still wishing nothing but the best.
Head coach. So
right, he burned himself though. But thank you guys, and we'll see you on Sunday, hopefully.
All right,
take care.
Yep.
All right, take care. All right, that was the SKOL with the enemy. I thought that one went a little shorter since they weren't division rivals, but had a lot to talk about.
And we got to let SKOL out of them, so that's all that matters. I was not going to say Chan. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry. Not going to happen.
Kind of was messed up, Cody, just a little bit. But we're a team, and Shaq took it.
Yeah, Shaq took the thing.
All right, so we got 2 more things of business to handle before we can let Fish go to bed. And I've learned when Fish wants to go to bed, you should just let him go to bed because bad thing happens if you don't, like real bad things. And we're not going to talk about it. But bad things happen when you don't let Fish go to bed. So why don't you guys give us your 5 keys to the game?
All right. Key number 1, after that dud we've had last week and the week before, 3 quarters of no touchdowns, but that last quarter was very exciting. The Vikings need to bring the excitement back to this fan base. I feel like everyone's dogging on JJ McCarthy. They're dogging on KOC. It was just a flat game coming out. You need to figure out a way to bring the excitement back to this fan base, to start believing in this team again. Make me believe from 7 wins to back to 11 wins. I don't know what you need to do to bring that excitement back. I think it's going to be with Carson Wentz. I'm not going to lie. I think he fits the scheme better than what it is now, the scheme that is now. I think we sling that rock all the way down the field, and I think Carson Wentz is the guy that does that, and there's going to be a lot of big plays, and it brings us back.
I like that one a lot, actually.
Number 2, we have play to your personal strength, KOC, meaning You don't have Daryl Saw out there. You might not have Ryan Kelly out there, and you don't have JJ McCarthy out there. Meaning you're gonna have to adjust to the players you've seen in training camp and in preseason and OTAs. You know what they can and can't do. So do not try to do no 7-step, 5-step drop back with this type of offensive line and backward quarterback. The quarterback hasn't been here all season, so just know what you can and can't do. If you want to win this game, you're going to adjust your scheme to the plays you have on the field.
Yeah, and that goes into the third one, the key, right? At halftime, if nothing's working, KOC, you need to look in the mirror, guy. You need to erase the ego, get rid of the scheme that you got going on right now, and adjust. Right? It's not working. Fix it. That's what a coach does. That's what a good coach does. Fix what's not working. Right? Do something different. Maybe not do a 7-step drop back on 3rd and 1 or 2nd and short. Run the ball forward so you stay ahead of the chains. Like, I thought the fourth quarter was so awesome that he was doing that, and then we haven't seen it again. 14 carries per game. You need to look in the mirror, man. I'm done saying run the effing ball constantly after every single game. Look in the mirror, KOC. Fix your play calling.
Like it.
Number 4, we have rotate the double coverage on Chase and Higgins. We cannot allow Higgins to beat us again like they did the last time we played the Bengals. I know Chase is the number 1 receiver, but Higgins is not that far behind him. So what we got to do is rotate who's getting doubled. Make Browning confused as to where the coverage is going to be most of the time. If you had to have somebody beat us, make it Chase Brown. But do not let Higgins or Jamar Chase be open on the weaker corner.
I agree. If anybody's gonna have a big game, it should be Chase Brown and a losing effort. I totally agree with that because I have him on my fantasy team, Fish.
The last key of the game, right? The last key of the game. I shouldn't be saying 3rd and 1. What I should be saying is 2 yards or less. We ran the ball once on 2 yards and less that whole game, and it was on a bot snap, quarterback sneak, fumble. Like, that was the only time 2 yards. You have Jordan Mason in the backfield, the guy we've been screaming to be running back 1 this whole offseason since we signed him entering this season. You started the game with Aaron Jones. You kept doing it. Hasn't been really working out. You throw Jordan Mason there. When Jordan Mason's in there, he falls forward and gains the 1 yard. It's crazy what he can do in between the tackles, outside the tackles. It's crazy what he can do carrying the football. I'm just saying right now, all right, if it's 3rd and 1, you want to take your shot, that's fine. But don't raise that white flag and give up and punt the ball afterwards. If you're 2 yards or less, run that ball, right? And then you can think about throwing the ball again. If you get a yard and 2 yards and less, run it again, right? I'm more happy to see this team run the ball 2 yards or less moving forward from here on out. Because last game we ran it one time and it was a quarterback sneak, botched fumble, 2 yards or less. Run the effing ball. I'm sick and tiring of saying it after every single game.
I like it. And I feel like we need to get you KOC's personal line because he's not hearing you.
No, not at all. I can't be screaming from the 300 section either. Lost a voice.
That place was too loud, Cody. It was never going to get through. I said, yeah, told me that'll be coming out tomorrow. Goal line stand. All right. And with that, we got 3 more things to get through, Fish.
We're almost there.
That's kidding. I'm kidding. Let's go ahead and get into our hot takes. Who's ready?
Oof.
Yeah,
Shaq,
I got a hot take.
Shaq was like, oof. Go ahead, Cody.
I got a hot take. So this is going to be my call it this week. So my hot take is going to be, even when McCarthy does come back healthy, he will not be the starting quarterback. It'll be Carson Wentz.
So that's definite. It's like not if Carson Wentz does good. You're saying right now that Carson Wentz will be the quarterback against the Eagles, even if JJ McCarthy's healthy.
Yes, I think he fits the scheme. What KOC's scheme is right now, I think he fits it better than JJ McCarthy. And I hate saying that. I fucking hate saying it.
Oof. All right, man. I'm between a rock and a hard place because we didn't get to the Gjallarhorns, but mine was going to be: would you rather Carson Wentz be successful and we end up riding, a successful season with Carson Wentz, or would you rather JJ McCarthy comes back and we work on his development? So, man, that's tough. Like Fish, what do you got?
The first 5 plays of Minnesota's offense on Sunday will be run plays.
I hope so.
See it.
That's why it's hot, baby.
It is hot. It actually is hot. That sounds like the blandest, most boring, unhot thing, but that thing is fire. Man. All right. Well, I'm going to do things a little bit differently here because these hot takes that they haven't been hitting. So I'm going to try to do things a little bit different here. And I actually got a parlay. And mine is Carson Wentz will not throw multiple touchdowns. Jordan Mason will not rush for over 80 yards. And the Vikings will not force multiple turnovers in this game.
Sounds like we're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Except my hot takes are always wrong.
Coming back.
Oh.
Man, I thought you guys were going to get that one.
Check and me. It was a great setup.
All right. Yeah, so that's why I say, like, gonna do it differently and see how
Bringing
this
that
works.
negativity early in the pregame show. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm doing my trick plays now, Fish. All right, Shaq, what do you got?
Carson Wentz will not be sacked this game.
I kind of like that. I think it might happen because
it's hot. It's definitely hot.
It's hot.
Because I think McCarthy's been sacked like 10 times in 2 games, right? Something like that.
He's on pace to break David Carr's record.
God, I'm gonna be so mad if my hot take hits.
Me too.
Well, at least your hot take hit. That's what you go with your head on.
Hey, Shaq is 1 for 2 right now. He called the J-Mac Player of the Week, so I'm liking Shaq's stuff right now.
No, Shaq's wasn't even during the season. That was in July.
That was in July.
I mean, Shaq be doing them long distance hot takes.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm gonna update our sheet to see what our percentages are. One of these days.
Shaq's like in 2030.
Yeah, man, you guys did that last week. Both of you had this one that's way out in the future.
I be watching I be watching too much KOC. You always gotta go for the deep ball.
Shaq was like, let me take the 7-step drop every play.
I'm gonna update our hot take sheet and see like what our percentages are at. And I'm gonna do that right after I make the graphic for build your own team.
Sounds look forward to.
Easy stuff.
Those are easy to do, I've heard.
They are.
I'm loving this comment section.
Why is it always happening at this time? Like we get the people on. What the hell? Do we need to start starting?
Here's the thing, Keith, about the hot take percentage. I'm pretty sure mine's a 0, so Ty,
no rush. No rush on that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hate to do this, but we gotta do it. I got work tomorrow, guys.
I don't.
It's already 9:8. It's already 9:18.
Damn.
That Minnesota time change was different for me. I'll tell you that, guys. Like, I actually there was a brief moment where I was sitting there and like I actually felt bad for you guys about the whole podcast time thing. Like there was a moment like, damn. So this is what it's like for them when I'm just starting.
Was it at 1:30 in the morning on Saturday when we were trying to get an Uber and?
No. I was feeling bad about other things by that point. I wasn't even thinking. I didn't even know if we were still going to have a show after that, So no, was not that. Man.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, wait, how's the football games on so early? Shaq, we're in Minnesota. Oh, I ain't changed my lineup.
So the hours are early for you. I was tripping out when we were at the Loon and it's midnight and the Gopher game was still on. I'm like, are they replaying the game? Well, why are they replaying? It's already in almost the fourth quarter. It's like, Oh yeah, they're playing in California, which means it started at 7 o'clock, which means it started at 9 o'clock here. And I tell you what, that's awesome. I like the later sports. You don't got to wake up all early.
On the way.
Appreciate it. Now we're up to 20. Gosh dang it. All right, let's get out of here. Final words. What do you got, Michael Fish?
For Vikings fans, by Vikings fans, it was indeed a hell of a weekend with a shit-ass game and some shit-ass food. But let's get back on that winning track this weekend. Cincinnati's a prime opponent for us to do it against. They're missing their starting quarterback. Their defense is not good. It's almost like a mirror image type of thing, but it's what we need to right the ship and get going again. And I'm sure they're saying the same thing. Good meeting you fellas this past weekend. And with that, let's go.
Let's go, D. Shaq, what do you got?
I'd like to give a shout out to the Bengals fans who came in with SKOL for the Enemy. You know, thanks for giving y'all input and joining us. Hopefully we have a good game. Hopefully the Vikings win. You know, I can't say, you know, I want it to be a good game for y'all, but, you know, the Vikings got to win that game. Shout out to JJ, the Vikings fan. If you're in Minnesota, make sure you go ahead and support him, the young Vikings fan. Hopefully he gets to see a Super Bowl at an early age than we do. And it was great meeting you guys. You know, maybe next year, you guys, we could get more people to come to the SKOL Fest and, you know, hang out with me, Fish, Keith, and Cody. And we can get into some more shenanigans since Fish is not going to join us for the shenanigans part. Don't forget to also leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to grow this Let's Go podcast. And yeah.
And Sarah, the Juicy Lucy was fine. It was good. It was a good burger, like whatever. But it's just like, if that's what you guys are hanging your hat on out there, then yeah, at least something to be desired. In-N-Out's a better burger. Straight up. In-N-Out's a better burger. What do you got, Cody?
So I thought it was really cool seeing everybody at SKOL Fest that watches our podcast. At first, shaking hands with everybody, and they're like, "Hey, let's go!" And we're shaking hands, like, I don't know who this guy is. And then they mention their YouTube names. It's like, okay, you're Norsefius. Oh, you're that guy. You're this guy. You know, I was going for it. It was really cool. It was a really awesome experience, knowing that you guys actually showed out for the SKOL Fest, knowing that we were there too. Like, I remember we were on some guy's Instagram, you know, while he was eating hot wings, and we're like talking to his people he was talking to. It was a great showing, great fan base, man. We are passionate, and we're diehards out there, you know, like people from the Minnesota area watching that fan base. They didn't marry into this fan base, you know what I'm saying? Like some people we know in the chat. They didn't choose their college football. Their college football team's Minnesota. Like they're just a hardcore fan base in that state, and it's so awesome to see. And it was just good knowing everybody, getting to know who's watching the show. Other than that, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's the weekend, right? The start of your weekend, the Friday. Everybody gets paid. Be smart, all right? Don't do nothing dumb to where you're going to miss 3 days of work, Addison. Be good or be good at it, and always let's go.
Coda, who's the best Viking of all time?
John Randall.
Shaq, who's the best Viking of all time?
Kirk Cousins.
Fish, who's the best Viking of all time?
Oh, my favorite's John Randall, but the answer is obviously Alan Page.
Yeah, Alan Page is a gangster.
I'm going to say Alan Page too. But in my lifetime, it's John Randall.
Yep.
So hope that answered your question, Jacob. And Sarah, you eat squirrel, so I don't want to hear what's nasty from you. All right, everybody. That's our show for the week. Thank you guys who hung in there with us. And yes, it was awesome meeting a lot of you guys. We'll be back live Sunday after the game for some aftercare. If we win, we'll be celebrating. If we lose, we'll be venting. Either way, we'll be here, and then we'll be here again next Thursday. We'll see you then. Let's SKOL.
Let's go.